one of those rounds.
Let's fire up now, ladies and gentlemen. The first map of this best of 13 final. Navi will be attacking in the blue and Hellraisers in the red to defend.
Very interesting lineup. Again, Navi going for that triple Waffentrag, which kind of worked against Kanzler, but actually they were losing. Kanzler gave it away. So let's see if they've kind of perfected that one. The pressure is on. As I said, doesn't matter how experienced you are, this is the finals and there's an early engagement.
Left Shark was spotting out this push early on here as well, so that's an important information going towards Navi, but it seems like Hellraisers don't really care about being spotted out. They know Strike may linger away from the rest of his team, and he may in fact be caught here. The Batchat squad going to be rolling on in as well. These mediums definitely going to be bringing the pain, and they're looking just to pick one tank off very, very quickly. Now, yes, Strike did go down, but Niu also fell elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, but Nuclear's got a really good backline position. Okay, they lost one, but it's a 1-for-1 exchange. They got Navi actually pincered in the middle. They're doing great damage as well.
See, Navi ready to push around the corner, or at least receive a push right now as Monty just swats away Left Shah with the help of some of his teammates, a little bit of extra damage, and he can back up now. It's Hellraisers with tank advantage early on here. And strange pushes across from the west to east, Ollie, in the northern side. We haven't seen it played out like this so far this weekend.
I love that push for Nuclear so much. He's actually going to come off reload in 15 seconds. Navi knows it. They need to get this advantage. They need to get these Waffentragers in the fight.
Oh, that's beautiful from Monty as well. He managed to avoid 2 Waffentragers and put some damage down, keep them distracted while the rest of Hellraisers is trying to assemble themselves here. Again, he's hella low. Doesn't really matter though, as Nuclear has that backfiring position. Like you said, he pushed on towards Strike, took his position away, and could be a constant harassment, but Applewell's going to get collapsed on here. It's going to be Kirillard, Inspira, Rhino coming around as well. They should be able to pick off this 215B.
Yeah, they're going to take him down, no problem. But actually, they lose Rhino. That's pretty disastrous. Kirillard is going to go forwards. Inspira has another couple of shots. That FE215B, extremely good at DPM. Navi are trying to claw their way back in, but they don't have the tanks. They don't have the hit points.
Stunning opening from Hellraisers here. Those first few moments give them such a tank advantage that now all they need to do is just finish the job. Kirillard, last one standing for Navi, and that's it. Hellraisers are going to take this first round away. Hair-raising speed across the map, and they managed to get it done there over in that northeastern corner. Very impressive, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to start to see more of those secret tactics now brought out to play.
I mean, that was really ingenious from Hellraisers. It's just a counter to what Navi's been doing. I mean, okay, you can't necessarily counter a specific tactic from the other team because they're going to change it slightly between rounds, but they saw that Navi liked to go with that northern side. They saw what they did against Cancer Crew. They saw that Strike always likes to play on those peripherals, especially when his team is using heavier tanks like the Waffentrager. So they just put 3 Batchats up, they take him down very quickly, and then they have the perfect positions in the background. Great execution from the Hellraisers. We've been waiting the whole grand finals for those fast decisions, those new plays, and Hellraisers put themselves in the lead in this first round.
And not only is this kind of play new, it's what we were talking about earlier on. How do Navi respond to aggressive, pinpoint pushes from enemy teams? And clearly, they struggle somewhat. This is maybe what we were talking about. They're so good at throwing up a stone wall against teams like Kazuna, who were so tentative and nervous to try and push them and find their weak points. But Hellraisers don't have that level of respect. They've been brawling out with this team in the CIS region for quite some time now. They know what Navi are good at, and maybe they just know what they're not good at, and you can see what they're trying to play towards here. And the damage counter as well, we can actually see that Slide, very average on the Waffentrager there as well, probably only a couple shots really connecting there.
And Left Shot got outplayed by Monty as well. Monty having that HE ammo. You'll see the 320 HE ammo coming out of the RU-251s, 120 penetration, so they can go through some of the softer tanks, and then just blow you away very quickly. I mean, this is going to be an incredible match. You've got to remember, best of 13, first to 7. We got 7 maps coming up potentially. I mean, I can't wait for it. I think for Hellraisers, their biggest advantage is their unpredictability. Navi, definitely a more predictable team, and Hellraisers need to be playing into that. They can expect Navi to do certain things. They can expect them to react certain ways. Navi can't do the same thing to Hellraisers.
You're exactly right. Hellraisers are a team that wants to provoke a reaction, but Navi wants to try and gather information and then try and make some sort of informed decision. The Hellraisers don't give a damn about that. They're going to push on towards them and try and make it hard. Navi have everything in their favor. Generally, the history's in their favor, the stats are in their favor, the crowd's in their favor, but Hellraisers don't care, and they're here to ruin the party for Navi and their fans. Now, double WZ 11114 here for Hellraisers, and a double Waffentrager for Navi.
Undoubtedly a higher DPM lineup for Navi. They've gone with the triple FE215.
This is the North Rush stat.
Yeah, they're going for the WZ111 and the 113 in that northern cap. Or maybe they've got another thing up their sleeve. They might just be trying to force out Navi's hand and see if they can actually catch them out with a bait and switch. We'll have to see. how Navi's going to play this middle section. They've got good hold down positions. Pretty normal for Ghost Town to be in these positions as Apoel and Lovo actually get spotted.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw Hellraisers get that really quick cap off with when we use those low-profile tanks, press them on towards the cap area. So interesting, actually, the Hellraisers got the upper hand on NSS by playing a bit more slow, but against Navi, they just want to completely turn things around. Now, Nuclear, a little bit caught out here, maybe not expecting a push coming from Navi. He's going to have to abscond as quickly as he possibly can. The entirety of Navi essentially is here trying to press forward in this armored column, but Hellraisers are ready to take shots. They're trying to slow them up, stop them from getting to the cap, because 3 tanks for Hellraisers are on there, and they're ticking that timer down.
Great stuff here from Hellraisers. They're kind of losing in some respects, but actually they're doing a lot of damage. Okay, Navi can get the overmatches, but they still got to worry about that cap.
They're still getting wrecked. Hellraisers have 3 tanks on the cap, and still they're fighting back against Navi. They're winning the health point trades. Nesquik got hammered there a little bit. Now the reset comes in. Left Shark gets it done. Strake as well is there. He's going to be punished severely for this act of audacity, but he has slowed the cap down. Yet it continues. Hellraisers do have a slim lead in health points, but that can be disintegrated in a matter of seconds now as well. I don't know if they can cap.
I love this push from the 113s and the WZ111s. Neyu's actually almost off reload. He's got about 15 seconds left. That's going to be a big blow to Navi, and Altolik might receive a lot of damage on the cross.
Yeah, he's getting the peaks in now, and Apoel is going to connect on towards him. Just 4 left for Navi. It's 5 up for Hellraisers. Not going to bother so much about the cap right now. They'd love to get up close and personal with Navi and rip them to shreds. Couple shots coming in from the side on towards Monty as Lev Shah set up at A3 as we did expect he would be, but he's not going to be able to help his team right now as well. It may as well be a 3v5. Make it a 3v4 as at least Inspirer can turn it around. But there's Near You, always there, living up to his name, getting the damage back when he has to, and Slide as well. Good position now with the Waffentrager. Gets on towards Monty, and now we have a 3v3.
I think Slide could have actually held that position. I mean, why not? It was a 1 versus 1 situation. He still had 3 shells left. And actually Slide, I mean, coming off reload is a massive deal. And those Waffentragers, they can just slam you straight back into the game. Near You's also down to a 1 shot. He's a Waffentrager left for Hellraisers.
That Waffentrager peak was very important. Hellraisers have already decided they can't go for a cap right now, but they're low. There's Inspirer, picks up Near You, and Navi starting to turn this one around little by little. It's baby steps, but they're making it work for them. Now Hellraisers have less pieces on the board to work with. Lovo taking some damage as well. Levsha wants to take matters into his own hands. Another David and Goliath story for you here. He fancies the fight and gets that WZ11114. Brave man.
I think that heat ammo is actually going to struggle for Left Shard to penetrate that tank. Let's see if he can connect on perhaps the top of the turret. He's just going to be holding that tier 9 down. He's a tier 8, you got to remember, so it's definitely a good trade. And considering his team are 1 tank up, they're actually going to be able to overmatch in some position because of it.
And he's keeping this tank busy. Lovo has to actually respect Levshar now in this position because he's so low. Normally, he might just swat him away like a fly or ignore him, but now he needs to give him all due respect. Apoel is the only really healthy tank on the map right now, and that's definitely worked in his favor. Beautiful little peek around the corner. That's going to take that FV down to a 1 shot.
Oh, I love this play from Apoel. I mean, look, he's so concentrated. He's a man of steel. He's a guy who's always going to deliver. He's done 1 versus 3 situation, 1 versus 4 situations, no problem at all. He's the guy who really needs to step up for his team. Slide's a 2 shot, Inspire's a 1 shot, and Left Shar's a 1 shot. You know, Left Shar has to kind of peek around the map. Remember, though, that Navi are on the defensive side, so they've got to kind of try and work that timer down a little bit.
Slide can ruin the party here for Hellraisers. Yes, he's a 2 shot, but he can nuke Apoel down before Apoel can actually kill him. That reload is going to be important as well, and obviously Slide can't miss any of those shots, but that's kind of always the caveat here in these situations. Under 1,000 hit points remaining for Navi, and Apoel just trying to get himself some breathing room here, and Lovo saying, wait up for me, bro, I need your protection. He doesn't quite know where these Navi tanks are. It's just the FV being pretty much perpetually spotted, but Inspirer, not really the issue right now. He's quite low, he's a 1 shot, and he might be chased down though, and this is clever, but he's been spotted. Apoel, that is. So Inspirer knows that they're coming from. They're trying to pick him off. He's just not going to allow that to happen. Lovo, that's some big damage on towards Slide, but he manages just to hang on. That's a big roll of damage, and this is going to make this one so much closer. But Apoel, 3 targets to kill. He's not an autoloader. He can't clip these guys. He has to take it this 1v3 and make it into 3 1v1s.
Oh, this is going to be so interesting. Maybe if Navi sends in their 2 1-shot tanks, Inspire, Levshar, Slide's going to be able to come in and do the rest of the damage. That's going to be the play for Navi. It has to be the play. He has got a good angles, but he's got heat.
Yeah, he's taking a hit there. He's looking for the shot to the FV. He needs to connect it, and he does now. He makes it into a 1v2, but the work is far from done for young Apoel here. HE loaded up and ready to go, and why not? Both Slide and Levshar don't have the armor that makes AP necessary.
Driver down, gun down. for Slide, gun damage for Slide. Levshar's going to be slow around that map. He's not going to be able to peek and pressure Hellraisers like he would like to, of course. Heat ammo, HE ammo makes total sense right now. 35 hit points, easy to take down. HE is going to be able to penetrate that Waffentrager regardless of where you shoot it, basically, especially if you hit the top of that turret. This is a fantastic situation. This is the situations which Applewell really excels in. Slide has found himself a very nice angle, and of course, Applewell being on the attack has to go for the kill.
4 minutes or thereabouts left in the game. Now, Applewell is lit from this position. He has been spotted. It was probably via proxy there, as he was within 50 meters of that Waffentrager, so you always get a sense of it. And Levshar has a little side shot, gets some damage across as well. This is going to start to tick up the pressure a little bit more for Applewell. He'll be sweating. He knows, or at least he has a feeling, that the Waffentrager has himself walled in there. Such a hard situation to press into. Slide played that well, but now he may even push out. He may even go hunting or just get close enough to the wall to continue proxying Apple if he stays.
The problem is, I mean, Apple obviously can't chase the RU251. I mean, he's still not as fast as him even with the driver down. So Apple's trying to cross him off. He's still got some time to play around with. The cap is starting to come a little bit tricky for him. He's got to be careful maybe if he doesn't want to go for a cap a bit later on. But Lefshar's actually holding his ground, maybe not predicting, maybe expecting Apple.
He has no
and he's
idea.
actually found him from behind. This is incredible.
Apple could come around the corner and get a quick flick and get it done. It's the 1v1 now, and there is still time left. But Applewell is going up against one of the scariest tank destroyers in the game.
Oh, this is so good. Applewell could easily find Slide. Slide has to get that first tracking shot. He's got the 560 damage gun, so he's got to hit him 3 times to take him down. Applewell will just have to detrack and kill him.
Now Slide, this is the final stand. The tumbleweed rolls past and Applewell comes down. Have a shell for your trouble, mate. He gets it down. The 1v3. This man is on fire, and Hellraisers pulling out all the stops so early in the match. That's what I'm talking about.
2-0 to Hellraisers going up in the first match against Navi, going off against the first map against Navi. Incredible stuff from them, showing the Masters how it's done on that map. We said at the beginning, look, Ghost Town is a Hellraisers kind of map. They can go in, they can be unpredictable, and they just completely wipe Navi off the board. Fantastic 2 rounds from them.
I have never seen that before. I've seen some tanks, mind you. I've never seen that before. Applewell, of course, formerly an EU player as well with School Bus.
Bowing before Applewell right now.
Yeah, I mean, her fangirlness is almost justified in that case. Incredible stuff, and what a stage to come out with such an incredible 1v3. Oh my lord, even I'm shaking. Look at how he played this sequentially, one by one by one, Ollie.
Fantastic work from him. HE loaded for this shot. You've got to remember, he's got sick alpha damage with this 130. Nice little track here. It doesn't actually kill him though, so Inspire kind of gets a little bit unlucky there to not get the damaging shell. HE's going to take care of him. He knows it. He's got 22 hit points. Every day of the week, doesn't matter where he hits him, basically. Game over. Maybe if he hit the gun, it wouldn't have done a killing blow, but it's enough. Slide gets into this position really nice, but where it's won and lost, because that 113 is faster than the Waffentrager, is when Levshar gets caught out. And Levshar has his driver down. It's a bit awkward to play with. I mean, you're used to playing with a driver, and you kind of feel a little bit sluggish. Maybe Levshar expected Apple to go for the cap, but Apple just circles his way around into behind Levshar, catches out Levshar, and truly incredible. Nice shot here from Levshar, but I mean, for the unbelievable. I mean, tunnel vision for Navi.
Yeah. Why didn't we see Slide and Levshar stick together here and try and maybe at least just force a 1v2 situation?
The thing is, the 113, if they stick together, we'll be able to kill them. There could be a scenario where the Waffentrager will be able to get the kills on. But the 113, you're playing Ghost Town. It's a corner-orientated map. Just comes around the corner, kills one of you, and then you can just stay safe for the rest of them and just go back around, and you can play that peekaboo game against the Waffentrager. Great. It's not particularly good in those 1v1 situations if the other player manages to bounce 1-on-2 shells. Slide sits in that courtyard, tries to buy the time for his team. They're playing the time game. Doesn't work out for them because Applewell just reads it perfectly.
And the crowd still behind Navi at this stage, despite some of the most impressive singular individual skill that I have ever seen in my time as a World of Tanks caster. But this won't phase a team like Navi. Sure, they'll be annoyed, they'll be upset, maybe even a little bit mad, Ollie, but that is not going to stop them from pushing hard and trying to take some of these rounds back. But as it stands, Ghost Town, both rounds go in favor here of Hellraisers. I mean, our next map is going to be Himmelsdorf, so this may well be where Navi start to fight back. We know that Hellraisers have had some issues on Himmelsdorf. I would say it's probably one of their weaker maps, if you could even say that at this stage. I don't know, man. I don't know. After that, it looks like Hellraisers have really come out to play.
Definitely, they're really on form right now. They've kind of accumulated all their issues and just buried them in a box somewhere, maybe backstage, because they're just looking unstoppable. Obviously, it's just the 2 rounds we've seen. We've got another 5 potential rounds which Hellraisers need to win until they do become the Grand Finals 2016 champions. Navi's going to try and stop that rot here on Himmelsdorf, where they do excel.
So again, we're seeing a large amount of tank destroyers here for Navi. They're bringing the 110E3, the Waffentrager LV100, and the FV215B183. The big guns, Ollie. Again, they're not going to really, they're not attacking, obviously, so not using it to try and set up on the 0 line. They're sitting back, but this is aggressive stuff from Hellraisers, already putting these 50Bs so far forward. Yeah, they're going to try and take down left shot. Actually, a nice little push on the left side as well. They've got the AMX 5120, that tier 9 French tank. A little bit more awkward to play than the 50B, but still a deadly tank in the right hands. Left shot's going to try and scamper out there. Let's see if they can do some damage. What does connect for 427? But this is the aggression I'm loving from Hellraisers. They need to continue doing this, but absolute destruction onto Nesqui. He just got absolutely hammered down. That was the firing squad of Navi awaiting his approach. And still Levshar got out of it there. So
FV215B183, boys.
Yeah, we didn't see the singular damage counter from the 183, so we couldn't see. But obviously, Navi have a trap laid, and they want Hellraisers to be aggressive now. They said, okay, so you seem to have figured out that we don't like being moved around the map. So we're going to dig our feet in a little bit harder, and we're going to bring guns that look like drain pipes and see how you go against that. And, well, Nesqui not so good. That's a bat chat already biting the dust here. And Hellraisers, though, continue to press forward. They have control of the entire eastern side of the map. They have that D-line pretty much held down. The mate just pushed straight up north here as we can see Applewell making his way forward. His teammates also pressing upwards towards his cap here. Again, they're going to force a response from Navi.
They're really going to try and push them forwards. I mean, they've lost a bat chat. They've already got some good control over that northern side, so it's definitely the best play they can do. Just depends how much flexibility they lost around the map. I mean, the Batchat's often that tank that comes in at the end and just finishes off those tanks because it's often really fast around the map. It can get to awkward positions at the end of the game once it's come off that long reload, 33 seconds. And yeah, I mean, Navi a tank ahead. HP points pretty similar. They are starting to accumulate here, and they look like they want to send their T110 E3 forwards first.
What choice do they have? There's 2 tanks on the cap here as well, so that's just going to double the speed at which Hellraisers can take this. And a truck would be amazing. Anatoly stopped in his tracks literally for the moment, but he's able to repair and keep heading forward. These 2 tanks just need to get resets. That's the job here. See, Kirilloi tries to come around the corner, gets on towards Lovo. That is what we're looking for in resets. But in the meantime, Navi pushing across the middle like that, open their flanks to the Hellraisers tanks, lying in wait. It's a trap, and then it's a counter trap, and maybe even another is now Power Slide wants to come forward, get some shots down. He manages to take down Griffin. That's a big one. And yet, Kirilloi pressing forward here as well. Rhino gets on towards Niu, when Hellraisers starting to run out of gas by the looks.
Yeah, they don't have that Batchat to actually stop that middle play from Navi. They just pushed in there, had the 183, blasted away the 50B. The 50Bs didn't do enough damage, didn't track Navi as they crossed. They're still in this game, but Navi's just coming from every angle.
But see just how nasty that 50B is. One shot is enough to get the kill. I think if I'd gotten excited every time I'd seen that this weekend, I'd have no voice by now. But Strake now is going to press forward as well, and just trying to get on towards this 113. It'll be backing off, and it's going to be Navi now setting their feet down. They will not be moved in this one, and they've got the guns to back up the trash talk now. As Applewell and Lovo up on that cap, still trying to press forward, but they lack teammates, they lack health, they lack time. Unfortunately, they look to be lacking luck as well. Lovo now as well, just sat on his own. Kirilloi will be there. Levshar around to the side. Kirilloi very low, and it will pretty much be it though as well. Hellraisers just have 2 tanks to hang on. Montiablo is not a part of the fight at this stage. He's set way back. Kirilloi gets the finish, and Monty stuck on his own, now being spotted. The jig is up, and Navi get their round back.
Yeah, 2-1 scoreline for Navi. They stabilized here on Himmelsdorf a little bit. Really solid play for them. I mean, it was won and lost in my opinion when that Batchat just got blown up by the 183. Yeah. Got spotted and just taken down in a matter of seconds.
And then Strike as well on the 50B. You know, we saw him come up from behind, and if you blink, you miss it. I saw him at father shot. I'm like, that tank must have already been low health. No, it was full health, actually. That's what Hesh will do for you.
It's insane, that tank. I mean, really is amazing. I thought what Kirilloi did, I mean, fantastic work from him. He's in that T110E5. He basically held those 113s by their necks and just slammed them against the wall and just played around with them, you know. It was great stuff. Good play from that man. Using the frontal armor of that tank very effectively, that's what you need to do. And 2-1 versus 1 is always important, even if you don't end up killing them. Yeah, I love the trap in the middle from Hellraisers. Good dynamic play from them. Didn't do enough damage on the crosshair. I think about 800, where they should have really tracked or done another couple of shells into the side. I mean, 442 is another one that comes in. I think that one bounces, actually. Issues here for Hellraisers.
But see, just as Hellraisers set up on this road here, right, they've set the trap, but Navi are setting up a counter trap in the middle of the map. You can see their tank destroyer, the 183 moving across and setting up here. So every time Hellraisers try and establish some sort of crossfire, Navi seem to be able to trump them. So that's the first push across. This is looking a bit grim for Navi at this point. And then the switch flicks, and Navi get their positions right up behind Hellraisers and start to turn this thing around. Look like Hellraisers are in the driving seat, yeah, but they get reset here by Kirilloi. They're forced to fight. Look at the uncertainty as well. And this is Slide coming forward, and that's almost a full health 50B, and yeah, didn't last long there as well. Stuff like that, going to make it very, very hard to get back into the game, losing a tank in a blink of an eye.
Exactly, fantastic work. I love the 183. And Navi's, always been championing the FE4005. I like the 183. It's obviously more of a logical choice. Hull down in those positions, slightly better on the defensive side. So, yeah, Navi stabilizing. I think for Hellraisers, they just want to be picking up the next round. It's the most important thing. They did such good work on Ghost Town. More ingenious work than I would say Navi did on the defense there. So if they could just pick up around here, they'll be smiling.
Yeah, that would be more than they were able to do on this one last time. Himmelsdorf was not a friendly battleground for the Hellraisers here, voting heavily in favor of Navi even after those first couple of rounds here. So there's almost a concession that Ghost Town definitely is more comfortable battleground here for Hellraisers, but Himmelsdorf, while they seem to be pulling some stuff out of the hat here as well, we talked about Hellraisers in that they seem to be able to play both styles. We've seen them go aggressive against Navi and then play more tactical against NSS. Navi are a team with, like a 70-odd attack percentage win rate.
74%.
Insane. Normally in what in a perfect world should be 51. If you really think it's often there's an inherent bias for the defensive side. So Navi, not only can they put up a steel wall like they did then, we know that it can break teams open as well.
They just win. That's what Navi do. They just simply
Brilliant
win.
analysis. 10 out of 10.
It doesn't matter where they are or what map they're on or what side they're on. They just simply win. And attack or defense is almost irrelevant for Navi. They just go in, all guns are blazing. They play the format perfectly. They play the tanks perfectly. And that's why they win so much World of Tanks tournaments. Now, Navi, they still got to play Hellraisers, the arch nemesis. I think for Hellraisers, 4 new players in their lineup, it's the only issue they'll have. Other than that, I think they're playing at probably a little bit better than Navi is right now.
But this is a full-strength Navi as well. Unlike last year, they do have Rhino in the lineup. No subs, no messing around, no excuses, no nothing. And Hellraiser's already setting up forward. So Monty, again, getting himself tucked away in that G3 position as well. He knows he's pretty well safe from anywhere but the hill. He can consistently spot Navi, and this has provoked him to actually progress down that 8 line a little bit closer, opening him up to some side shots. You can see there's some gaps in their houses where a team that's set up the way Hellraisers is can punish them for particular maneuvers like this. See Monty as well, he's pulled away from that little corner now that we've seen Navi move. So this is Hellraisers keeping in step with Navi, staying dynamic, and they're ready to react to whatever Navi throw at them. Yeah,
Hellraiser would have maybe liked to get a couple more shots in there, but that's realistic. 1 or 2 is pretty much the norm. Near actually going to maybe be a little bit aggressive around this corner here. He's going to try and side scrape, see if he can find any shots onto the softer sides of those FE215Bs, the heavy British tier 10 tank, and he's got to be very careful. You can't really side scrape, and he is actually loading Hesh, so a good tasty 1.7k he can hit.
He's definitely looking for those weaker armored targets as well, which sometimes can be a little bit dissatisfying against heavily armored tanks, and the Waffentrager Alpha 100 would be a very suitable meal for him to pick up there as well. And it's got to be a lot of respect from Navi towards that tank. Now, Levsha in the 3090 has moved his way on towards the cap, and he's begun that very, very standard procedure for a lot of teams attacking towards the northern side. Where things diverge amongst teams and the way they play it out is how they set up to screen this cap attempt. You see Kirilloi there in the 110E5, just trying to pressure back anyone who tries to approach here. But Hellraisers as well, they want to control this D line, just like Navi did in that last round and stop this cap.
Yeah, Monty actually just got chunked down by a shell from the Waffentrager of Rhino, I believe. So he's got to be careful. I mean, he was obviously trying to go aggressive, trying to find his way onto the back of that cap. Didn't expect Navi to have that Waffentrager. This actually might spur Hellraisers to be a little bit more aggressive, thinking that that slow German tank destroyer might be out of position for a little bit too long, won't be able to help the rest of his team, and the fact that it's used 2 or 3 shells to shoot Monty.
You can see on the EU screen as well the last known location of the enemy tanks, so obviously Navi are in different formation than they were. Lovo being punished here very, very heavily, and this cap is getting super low. He needs to get a reset, but look at how Levshar is being shielded from this one. Some resets come in, of course, with the tanks next to him, but this is going to have to be a full push from the Hellraisers. They need to come forward now. There's 4 tanks from Navi, 5 in fact ready to set up on towards this one. Lovo and Nuclear are going to be focused down first and foremost, but Strake as well, taking a fair bit of damage. Every shot counts right now, and they're coming back in the right direction. Navi really making Hellraisers bleed here. Lovo's a one-shot. Nuclear very, very low as well, and a couple more will have him finished off.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Navi were behind that corner. It was a 4 versus 4 situation, 5 versus 4 if you consider left shot. So there's absolutely no way Hellraisers will be able to push around effectively. Good damage from Griffin and Waffentrager, but Near's nowhere to be found. The MX-3090 of Monty's still a little bit too far behind. Let's see if Hellraisers can claw their way back into this match.
Near hasn't been able to do much at all. He's been hoping someone to pick that 8 line, but they just haven't. You can see he's trying to lob shells over the top. That's how desperate he is to get some damage down. Hellraisers, this desperation may not yield any results at this stage as Navi are continuing to press forward. It's a Ram to finish off Apple Wow. Griffin now got to be chased down. It's Rhino to get the finish on Nescree, and Navi are just dotting their I's. They're crossing their T's, and they're making sure Hellraisers have nowhere to fight back from.
I mean, this is a team that 2-0'd NSS on Himmelsdorf, and you can see how much better Navi is on Himmelsdorf than any other team in the world since day one of their World of Tanks career. Near use the team captain of Hellraisers on his own in the FE183. He's basically done squat. And it's definitely not something you want to have when you consider that Navi normally does like, what, 3k in a similar tank in a similar situation.
When you're taking pot shots at a 300 health, 1390, in a 215v183, you're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel. He will get the finish at least on towards Anatolich, but it's all too late now as well. It's a slow, lumbering, big, not well-armored tank that's just got to be chased down and sent to pasture. And this is it, Himmelsdorf, Navi, now to bring things back into 2-2. So essentially, Ollie, like you said, we almost have a bit of a reset. All that hard work done by the Hellraisers in that first map now is pretty much moot, as we're going to be drawing even. That's the final kill. And Navi, what a solid Himmelsdorf play. They answer back from a bit of a mare of Ghost Town in kind and bring it even.
Hellraisers tried to play the exact same tactic and line up that Navi did in the first round in Himmelsdorf when they were defending. Just didn't work out. Navi saw the tactic, saw the mistakes, and just simply pushed in. You had a situation where Hellraisers were in a 4 versus 5 situation, pushing around the corner, having to get that reset because of the stack of Navi tanks next to Levshar, and just got absolutely destroyed. They should have had Niu in there, or they should have Nesquik in the FE215B that was in that center line. They just needed to get the overmatches, or they needed to have a fast tank. They probably were relying on Monty to be able to climb that hill. Obviously, Monty got stopped in his tracks by that Waffentrager.
Seeing the proud Ukrainian flag being flown here in the arena. Navi bring it back, and sorry near you, but you know Strake. We saw him try to weave the same magic as Strake did on that FE215V183. It just wasn't meant to be. Of course, for those wondering, the FE215V183 is different to the heavy variant, of course. They just stuck a massive gun on it, but here's a fight, and this is where Navi just take control. Yeah,
they've got another tank in the background. They're just getting so much damage. The thing is, Hellraisers having to push around that corner. Hellraisers are using the FE215B where the gun is actually the turret's actually mounted on the back of the tank. So unless you reverse around the corner, which is not good in an assault situation,
not practical.
Yeah, it's not practical. You're not going to turn around. The other team's just going to kill you. So you're going to receive damage. You're going to receive the first shell, and that's exactly what you can see has happened. Levshar knows he probably will be needed at some point in the battle. Doesn't want to get shot from behind by Nesquik and just runs away.
And yeah, the desperation from Niu in that moment there as well to try and make that shot. G'day guys, how you doing? Good. That just came over me. I just want to say hello to people. But yeah, the desperation near you to make that shot over towards that 8 line in the moments after that replay was definitely showing as well. He tried to lob one in there, just like whatever I can get at this point. He was essentially nullified as well because he was waiting for the Waffentrager to peak. The Waffentrager knew Niu was waiting for him and just stayed on that 8 line and didn't cross the D line whatsoever.
A little bit of a side stage 3rd, 4th place match update while we have the interim between this map and the next one. Himmelsdorf now transitioning to Mines, which are going to be our 3rd map. Wombats take it 5-3 against NSS and pick up that 3rd place. Probably not the result they were hoping for, but a good consolation prize.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not what they wanted, as we know, for them to clean it up there as well. So congratulations to both those teams for making it this far. Again, some stiff opposition. It's going to be Mines to come up next as well. You guys know it by now. One of our favourites here as well, and it has changed. Now with the new physics, you can get onto the hill without pushing the middle. So sometimes we see teams play around that middle, go for earlier flanks, or try and get position on other parts of the map. Quite often we're seeing the cap established on the western side, and teams try and screen that and cover the tanks that are trying to cap out. We've seen bunches of 113s shoved on the cap and try to get quick ones there as well. So this should definitely be a juicy one.
I think it's going to be a game of boosts, as you mentioned. The thing is, how nervous are the other team? You know, you got to play that. We've seen, for instance, Breakneck get himself almost killed, 1,016 damage or something, because he didn't get the boost correct.
Yep.
They've got to be able to get on that hill in that middle central area and not fail at it, basically.
Yep.
Nerves are going to be there. They really don't, they really can't afford to lose. They're both 2-2. They want to be going ahead. It's a very fast, very versatile map. Artillery as well is also something that could be considered. We haven't seen a lot of it. I mean, okay, the Lorraine has come out quite a few times, but we haven't seen a lot of it, and not effectively on this one. And Navi actually picking up that T49. Interesting pick for them. We have seen it a couple of times before, but straight did a K damage, for instance, the last match.
That's right. He was actually, quite a pain, and he demands attention on that tank as well from his opposition. Navi went for a similar strategy. So, Levshar and Anatolij get onto the hill early on. Now, they can't fire yet. They're still loading, and the rest of Navi is going to move up here. Hellraisers, is it going to be the aggressive play? Is it going to be the aggressive push? Yes, but Nigi's taken a lot of damage already. So much, in fact, going over towards Hellraisers here. Not good trades to start off with. Now, Levshar. Now, the Batchats are loaded up on the hill, but there's going to be a flank around the side.
Going to be a little flank around from the Hellraisers, but they receive so much damage. Navi knows that they got the advantage and then pushing it.
Now the Batchat going to come through. So the T54 Inspirer will be caught out a little bit there as well. But Hellraisers are sustaining significant damage and casualties now. Applehouse down to a one-shot. Lovo's been ignored for the most part, but you better believe those guns will turn to him when the time is right. And maybe it's now. Nuclear now getting up in his face, pumping those damage shots in as well. And you can see there's a WC off towards the side. Navi have that 2k hit point advantage. They have a 5-3 advantage. The focus fire has been an absolute premium right now. And Rhino may not have the last shot here on towards Monty, but the damage definitely has been done. Oh, the bounce! Rhino actually might get the finish towards Monty, and the Anatolij, he's now alright. He's going to start banging those shots in, and the Batchat Brigade, the cavalry is here. Even the T49 getting involved, and that's Levshar getting 2 quick kills, and it's just Nuclear left.
As soon as those Navi Clippers actually came off reload, they just went straight in. You had the Batchats, you had Strake with a long reload, 22 seconds, and they just pushed in. The Anatolic also in there in the background, and they managed to do the job. Nuclear is actually on the side. I mean, he was kind of supposed to be playing that side role. I think he should have probably ran away and tried to come from behind, but didn't manage to do it.
Well, it's just Nuclear standing now as well, and Navi get it done. They put their noses out in front. Hellraisers again try and contest these upstarts, these arrogant players trying to get aggressive up into Navi's face, but they were prepared for this. Already with 2 Batchats up on the hill before the fight even started, Ollie. Incredible stuff, but the flank from Hellraisers seemed either too little or too late, or both.
Yeah, they received like 3,000 damage. They actually failed quite miserably with the first shells. That's like 1,200 damage you saw near you missing that one. And I think that probably put Navi slightly ahead. And then Navi pushed. They just pushed in, maybe expecting that push from behind, did a lot of damage themselves. And then the T54 and the Batchat came in, but it's too little. I mean, 2,000 damage. Navi had already done that. The T54, okay, it's a good DPM, but it's only 320 at the moment. It's just pumping out 320. It's not going to be enough to bring you back in the game.
It has the same gun as the object, right? But that's not the issue. They need the burst damage if they're going to pull off a flank to try and take someone out of the game as quickly as possible. Splitting the forces for Hellraisers, I did allude to it earlier on. It might be a possibility here. But with Navi so solely taking control of the mid, Hellraisers were crazy to try and contest. Here's that first engagement. Yeah,
look at this. I mean, you see a lot of damage going towards Levshar. Obviously gets the boost up. 1,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 almost, 3,500 around there. And then you see the tanks. You can see 10,000 to 7,700. It's a big deficit to have. And okay, they take down Inspire, but he would have probably fallen anyway. You still got Rhino pumping damage in the back of Apoel as well.
And of course, the 2 Batchats up on the hill for Navi, they take 5. They step back from the fight while Nuclear here as well tries to get aggressive. But eventually, they jump back in, of course. And, it's a fact you kind of forget. You forget how much Batchats can do when they leave you alone. You're like, okay, we seem to be in the clear. We seem to be comfortable now. These guys aren't harassers. And oh, wait, we forgot about them. Yeah, they're reloaded. Okay, well, GG.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like, you got to remember about all those factors. I think maybe if Nuclear had actually come in at the end and the timing had been slightly better from Hellraisers, then there could have been a different result here. But still, Navi put themselves ahead with that third round against 2 fun Hellraisers. And you've got to remember, they haven't won a round in 3 right now. The last one was, of course, Ghost Town. So they have to get themselves kind of settled, pick up the next one here on Mines, bring it all even. And, you know, it was a pretty close round, so I don't think they're going to be tilted or anything like that.
No, at this point as well, it's just not something you can even afford to think about the possibility of losing that is. So again, Hellraisers are reflecting what Navi did earlier on. They pushed 2 bat shots up quickly. Strike might get a shot in the side. Oh, near you. Gotta be careful there. He will still at least get on towards the hill. Strike mildly reprimanded there with 1 shot towards the side, but look at the boost up as well. These bat chats are ready to fight. Navi are going to take the fight head-to-head up on towards his hill. Both bat chats are going to load at the same time, so they're ready to fight simultaneously here. 2 1v1s happening at the same time. The Anatolish, though, as well, gets rid of his opponent, and Aspire is free to move back. Perfect play from Navi. 2 1v1s or the 2v2, whatever you want to call it. They won it.
Yeah, but they're definitely not doing particularly well right now. I think Hellraiser is actually getting outplayed in terms of individual 2 versus 2, and Navi don't lose a single tank. Incredible stuff.
That's ballsy stuff. It's grab your bat chats, get on the hill, and get your hands dirty. But now Hellraisers are trying to bring things back over the middle. But again, is it just a case of too little, too late? Griffin wants to press forward. He's just come off reload, but Glovo's so well. Nesqui as well. The back of the ram as well. Shot's going to come in. Not much Griffin can really do about that. Despite Monty trying to stay away, he still needs to try and help his teammates, but it is pretty much over from this point. The 2-5-1 comes forward, trying to take a shot. Nesqui licking his way their separate ways and just try and stay alive. In
a longer game, Monty would have definitely been more effective, but it was a pretty short engagement. And, you know, that 250 damage is not really adding up to much. Griffin trying to run away, but it looks like Inspiro will have the reload first.
Gonna go for the ram as well. Shot's gonna come in. Not much Griffin can really do about that. Despite Monty trying to stay away, he still needs to try and help his teammates, but it is pretty much over from this point. The 2-5-1 comes forward, trying to take a shot. Nesqui licking his wounds around the side of the hill, and the Anatolish ready to drop like Batman. Monty, though, sees it. Tries to get the shot, but he will definitely fall. And yes, Nesqui is going to be surrounded. He's going to be assailed on all sides there by tanks. Anatolish dropped off the hill and died, by the way. That's pretty funny. But Inspira gets the finish, and Navi are on a roll.
4-2 now for Navi. They've won 4 in a row. Incredible stuff from that team. And, I mean, that was just disastrous from the Hellraisers. Maybe they were slightly tilted after that Mines round on the attack. They just went forwards. I think they got pretty lucky that the penetration didn't come out from the HE ammo for the T49, or at least a track or something like that. And then Navi obviously boosted. They still had done some damage, so they're actually winning the damage race with the bat check, which is the most important thing. Nuclear was missing shells. Everyone was missing shells from the Hellraisers. And at that point, you know, it was already game over. It was a simple mathematical game for Navi. As long as they didn't screw up, it would have been okay. I think if Hellraisers would have put Monty on the hill, it would have been a different story. But for Monty to be on the hill, then you would have predicted that Batcher would have lost, which I don't think they did. Monty was actually for the later game, which obviously it never came to.
Yeah, you can see him being forced right out of the fight here. As most of this fight happens, there are 2 quick kills coming away from Hellraisers here, but look at the health points. It's already too late.
Yeah, it's definitely too late. Got almost, well, definitely got double of the Hellraisers' health pool right now, and it's game over already, 5 versus 3. No way Navi's going to be able to lose this one. Maybe a slightly lesser team would have lost it, but you know, they just don't make these kind of mistakes, these boys.
I feel like I'm saying a lot, this too little, too late phrase. And let's maybe go back and find out why we keep seeing this situation happening, Oliver. Hellraisers seem to lose most of the win from their sails in the first couple of minutes of a round like this. Now, is that a tactical error? Is their tactic basically or generally worse than Navi's, or are they messing up this execution in crucial moments?
I mean, that was just the only adaptation there for Navi was the T49. The boost up with the Batchet's pretty normal, but the T49 is not something we've seen in the grand final so far, at least the matches we've seen. So yeah, I think that was a mistake there from Hellraisers. I think the unpredictability is perhaps turning into predictability.
Maybe Navi just have a read on them as well, or sometimes this aggression does have a pattern to it, or maybe they just know the Hellraisers are going to try and pick a fight in the most open part of the map. Regardless, Mines is done. And again, we're seeing a bit of a repeat of what we saw last time these 2 teams played. It was a very strong Himmelsdorf and Mines performance, generally speaking, from Navi. But Ruinberg is next. And well, the way we saw that was our first map of the whole weekend, and it pretty much went 1 apiece here as well. And we've seen what Hellraisers can do on the attacking side and make life hard for their opponents. But again, they're going to have to deliberate by the looks of things and have a chat before going on to this map, which we know can often be split 1-on-1.
Yeah, you can have a little bit of a break between these rounds, no problem at all. But yeah, Ruinberg, I think Hellraisers, they've shown that they're probably the best Ruinberg attacking team in the grand final so far. But Navi's not a team that's below them; they're above them. Whereas you could argue that Hellraisers was above every other team they were attacking against in the grand finals. So I mean, I would be surprised if Hellraisers managed to win the attacking round, but we'll have to see. Ruinberg definitely looks like a little bit better towards the attacking side. Now we've seen the meta change. Teams have had a chance to kind of relax, maybe do a lot of training from the regular season. In the break between the regular season and the grand finals, about 3-4 weeks for most teams, especially the Russian teams you're seeing here playing in the grand finals. So, I mean, okay, there might be a chance here for Hellraisers to get 2 rounds, but still that will just bring it all even.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's just us and you right now as the teams are just preparing, having a bit of a chat. What we're going to do, though, is, of course, pass over to the desk led by Joshua Gray, and they can break down what we've seen in this final match so far.
Thank you, Mitch and Oliver. Fantastic series so far. Hellraisers was dominant the very first 2 battles, but Navi has come back to be in the lead 4-2. We're going to break down what we saw in each of these maps, some of the tank selections, and Apple Wow is becoming a meme already on Twitter. Mojo, let's break down what happened in Ghost Town.
We are facing all-out war here. Hellraisers definitely just changed their entire playstyle. They went full out, full aggression from the start, from the very beginning of the first map. They charged with multiple buttshots on a position where they presumed one Navi guy will be. They caught him off. They paid some sacrifice in blood, let's say it like that, but they made a crossfire and managed to just corner Navi in and box them out of any kind of rotation and just kill them there, right there and then. It was really dominant display of most aggressive display of defense on Ghost Town. And then when they shifted on another role to attack, they used the old strat they used in the previous match with 3 guys capping and everyone else defending. Navi barely decapped, barely, like by 2 or 3 seconds remaining, but they paid a heavy price in HP. So Hellraisers just used their momentum and kept pushing and killing them. And eventually, after all that, it ended up 1 guy on 3. 1 guy on 3, and we witnessed that. They were all low HP, but there were 3 of them, the most professional, best, skillful players on the world. And he didn't care. He's like, apple, wow, pow, 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 like that. He just went, played the smartest game I've seen in a while, and just beat them with pure skill and anticipation.
That anticipation and skill and Apple, wow. You got to imagine the amount of pressure that's going obviously through his mind, but tactically making the right decision every moment in a 1v3 scenario. And here we see it on the breakdown for the replay. The group up of Hellraisers staying together made them a harder target for Nadas Vincere, for Navi, to either swing around on the other side or take damage from those 2 tanks that are more in the center section on the map.
From here, they still moved on as a squad. We saw they actually chose to try to cap till the end, which was a really gambling choice in this moment. But they did it. After they got resetted, they instantly pushed and kept killing and shooting. But Navi are not newcomers or beginners. They made every possible obstacle, corner, whatever, to grind any damage off them and shave it off. Like whatever it looks like here, someone has a huge advantage with HP. At the end, it doesn't matter as long as the guns are alive. They are shooting and they're trying to win their games. This is really hardcore games we are facing here. Like something that everyone from a total rookie to professional has something to learn from them. About positioning, how to play a certain tank, about new physics that we can see here. Some stuff we never even imagined that can be done.
Moving on to Himmelsdorf, we saw some great coverage and excellent, accurate shots coming from Navi, starting to answer what Hellraisers was bringing in the first map on Ghost Town. Dead Zone, what did you notice when it came to Navi from either calling or strategy or even beginning their onset attacks when it came to Himmelsdorf in battles 3 and 4?
You saw that Navi just stepped up the game on the individual level. Every player did their best to win the game. You saw Slide going ham in his 183, one-shotting a 50B for 1.7k. Just a shot there changing the game. We also saw their 3090 player doing a total of 3.4k damage. It's totally insane. Here you can see both 50Bs setting up a trap against Navi. Navi just deals with it. They just like, I don't care, just go past it. And they just casually take down Hellraisers like this.
So one of my favorite positions you see Anatolic looking forward ahead while Killeroid is covering that one alleyway. And this is such textbook play coming from these 2 battle buddies as they cross over into the cover and stop the flag cap. Is this the best decision they could have made at this time? And are we continuing to see Navi making the best decisions in these scenarios?
They needed to make a decision. You saw that cap timer, there was 11 seconds left. They had to make a move. This was their best decision without losing any tanks. You can see they just crossed, they took a couple damage, they decapped, and they reset the game for themselves to move with the rest of the tanks into position.
Now, you've been playing World of Tanks for quite some time and knowing the ins and outs, every nook and cranny when it comes to these different maps. Himmelsdorf has some of these tiny little windows that you can poke your turret through and get one of those shots. How crucial is it for these professionals to know these maps, and how big of a difference is it between the amateur side and the professional side when it comes to map knowledge?
Slight really abused his map knowledge here. He saw it coming. He saw the 50B aiming at their side of his teammates. He took the chance, he took the opportunity, he shot him from behind using the window, saving him some seconds and making sure he can hit that shot. The knowledge of this really changed the game here, just giving Navi the advantage.
Definitely saw the advantage multiple times. Mojo, you saw it as well.
Yeah, they definitely played out with these FVTDs and from one shot on Nesquik to here later, but what I wanted to say is like this map definitely has somewhere Navi sign engraved from the tier 8 onward here. This is their map. When anyone comes here, they're like trembling because these guys know every crack, hole, whatever kind of loophole you can use on Himmelsdorf. They're like unbeatable.
After the 2 wins on Himmelsdorf, it was tied up 2-2. Then that took us to Mines. On Mines, again, could have been anybody's game, but it was in favor of Navi. We saw some 183s on the fence, Dead Zone. You had talked about that during the matchup. What significance did that bring in that series?
183, if it hits someone, it's just insane. No matter what you do, if you hit a light, if you hit a medium, it's just gone straight away. That's the power of that tank. That's the power also of the FE405. That's why they're used a lot. They're a big gamble like the T49 used to be in tier 8, but when you use it successfully, it can do a lot of damage.
Raven, on Mines, we saw, first of all, Navi win on the attack and then went on the defense. What did you notice the differential when it came to their initial strategy or any type of adaptability they brought compared to Hellraiser's strategy on Mines?
I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with Hellraiser's focus fire. As we can see, the Mines games weren't even that close. They won. Navi won both games with 2, 3, even 4K HP advantage. We can see in the second game we had a 2 versus 2 fight on the hill with Batchets, and Hellraisers didn't even manage to take a single tank. Yeah, just bad focus fire, I would say.
We can also see that Navi actually exploited the new physics in the best possible way, while Hellraisers here played the old-fashioned pincer attack around the hill, which lost them maybe 15 seconds in a total brawl, or 20 at max. But it actually resulted in a lowering number of the Hellraiser guns because they were outgunned totally unexpectedly.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Navi is currently in the lead, 4-2 in this best of 13 series. The winner's taking home $150,000, and the action is just getting started. Commentators, back to you.
Thank you very much, Josh and the desk. And we hope you didn't miss us too much here. The teams have returned to the stage, as you can see, and have taken their positions now coming in to this next map. And of course, my God, Ollie, Ruinberg, this was kind of our demon all through the WGL season. We'd be sat there in the studio Tuesday, Thursday night, be like, this is going to be a 1-1, going to be a 1-1. And we were proven wrong more times than we thought here. Teams are adapting, and this new meta, as we sort of labelled it, the new hotness on Ruinberg seems to lend itself to attacking teams who can innovate.
Yeah, I think the defensive teams have really not done that much, and defensively most teams haven't changed their strategy, whilst the attacking teams have been adapting. You've been kind of putting the pedal to the metal, trying to come up with different strategies, and that's what's really giving the attack a bit more of a chance now. You're probably looking around like the 50s, 60% win ratio for the defensive side still, but definitely. Have to say though, Navi has that crucial 2-round advantage. Even in best of 13, it's a big advantage, and 2 very convincing rounds of Mines don't help.
Not at all. It's been a quiet 4 rounds from Hellraisers now. A chance to bring things back here as they are going to be pressing forward. Nesquik there on your screen in the bat chat. Already spotted pushing out of mid, but that's to be expected for him now for the attacking side. And Navi sit back, and they will be awaiting some sort of push here as well. But we know what they can do when they are just put back into a corner. That's when they start to bare their teeth and fight back a little bit. So Hellraisers need to make sure the fights they take, the odds are good.
Yeah, nice little peek there from Slide. Sorry, he actually hits the side of nuclear. Very nice, 401 damage. Good start to the game. Navi will have a little bit more confidence of that, but actually some blind shots. Strike could actually be in big trouble here. It's a 113 trying to reverse back. It's 2 versus 1, but look at the crossfire for Navi. It's not enough damage, but it's good amount.
The damage trade has been pretty good, actually, if you think of what Strake's taken in this push-up. Near you, going about to half health, and now Griffin copping it in the side as well. Kirilloi getting involved. Navi were expecting, they were anticipating this aggression from Hellraisers towards the middle of the map, and they're ready to stand their ground. Strake there gets another nice little hit there. He's probably going to drop here as well, as Griffin will probably go for the last pick. Yes, he does. And Navi, again, still jockeying for position, establishing setup.
Caps on the way for Navi, for Hellraisers. That's the most important thing. And actually, Left Shell, the fastest tank, trying to trace Nesquik could be a bit of a problem. He has to take care of them, and Navi has to get back to try and get this reset soon.
Navi doesn't care if he dies right now. It just needs to slow Navi up, but Power Slide is not the kind of man to let a roadblock stop him in his tracks there. He does see another Batchat come past him as well. He realizes that he can't press any further forward. He needs to deal with this threat before he can get shots on towards his cap. It's 78% already. 5 seconds left in this one, and Navi need a reset. But Rhino is just not fast. He's about as fast as his namesake. No reset coming in as of yet. There it is, a little reset, but it's enough. And Navi have kept themselves in this one.
Hellraisers still have a decent chance of actually winning this one, but it's starting to get harder. Actually, the kill comes out from Griffin onto the Batchat. That's a big blow.
Resets still coming in though. Rhino gets into position, but he's taking a hell of a beating, and there's no one there to back him up. Huge burst on towards a 215B, and he will fall, and he has no choice but to capitulate now, as Anatolish at least has that hull for support or defense. But again, Monty and Lovo gonna push around onto him. Hellraisers realize that, well, health point wise, we're still not doing that great, but again, they have to move up the cap. They're trying to finish this game the old-fashioned way.
I love the fact that Navi still have a lot of tanks in this game in terms of the hit points. Lovo just doesn't have that doesn't have the DPM to deal with the Anatolic. You can see that tier 10 British tank really working him down fast.
A lot of respect from Lovo as well. He realizes that he may have gotten himself into a fight that he is outgunned in. Another shot to come towards the Anatolish, and he's going to take it straight to the copula as well, but Anatolish is going to have the reload first. Inspira now has to deal with nuclear, and Griffin's come off reload as well. He's going to quickly turn his head and deal with this one. He gets disintegrated. Hellraisers get the reloads at just the right time, and they're going to clean this one up. They get one round back. It was looking like a drought, but the rain has come.
Look at that focus fire. It's an absolute dream from Hellraisers. Perfect play by those WZs to keep Navi at bay, just to push them, keep the pressure on. I've got goosebumps on the back of my neck right now. And then you just have those Batchats, 35 seconds, come off reload, come banging in with those shells. Didn't have a lot of HP to play around with. Inspire made the decision to go forward to try and help his team to get the resets. It was the wrong decision, and Hellraisers punished them. What have we seen so far? This is the 3rd time Hellraisers in this tournament have won on the defensive side of Ruinberg, on the attacking side of Ruinberg. Just incredible.
Yeah, insane stuff there. The push towards the north, and this is not just any team they're managing to cheese out with some sort of strategy towards one of the caps. This is Navi that they've been able to overcome there on this one. You see, this is where the resets had to come. And you see Rhino was just trying to get there as fast as his tracks can take him. Navi get a reset. Look at how much ahead they are on health points right now, by the way.
Yeah, they're always winning the health points game because Hellraisers have the Batchats, but that's not what counts when you have a lot of Batchats. You know you're not going to have as much health points. What you have is DPM, the burst. And I love this play. Slide gets outplayed by Griffin. Slide actually had the advantage in terms of HP. But I mean, the fantastic work at the beginning, which we didn't really highlight, was the fact that I think that was Strike there in the 130 in the beginning. Side scraping got taken down pretty low. He was caught out a little bit with his pants down, and then you had the Batchat in the background also getting caught out a little bit. And Apple the FV, I mean, 4,050 damage. The FV is the key to the chest of winning attack on Ruinberg, I feel.
Every time we've seen it brought onto this map, a team that knows how to use it well has just dominated. Applewell was on the northern cap. He sat behind the rest of his team and was just banging damage away here. Rhino, Strake, and Slide, not ideal for them as well. You saw what happened to Strake there as well, as he was fighting up and towards the northern side. Outplayed, you might call it. He definitely seemed to think so. He was not impressed at all. And this match just gets a little bit closer. It's only one round separating these two currently. Navi with a strong little spree of rounds, but Hellraisers, that's pretty rough to lose that defensive round for Navi on Ruinberg, and then knowing what you have to do to get the next one when you're attacking.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. Let's see if Hellraisers have that composure, though, to go and win on the defensive side, the slightly easier side, in my opinion. Like, I mean, Navi could also bring out something totally unusual. Ruinberg is like that night or day kind of map, which you need to have something special up your sleeve, 100%. To win on the attack. So let's see what Navi has in store for us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about to jump into this next round. As I said, it is 4-3 here for Navi. They're looking very, very sharp over the last 2 maps, but it looks like the drought's over for Hellraisers. They get back on a map that they feel comfortable on here. Now they get to defend on this one. Navi have to break them open. See Navi actually bringing the Waffle Trager on the attacking side. See them usually work out from the middle of the city here. It'll be interesting to see how they want to employ it this time.
I've always been wondering, like, why doesn't a team just exploit that middle area? I was talking to the dead zone on the desk earlier, and he says, you know, the middle area is an exploitable route for a lot of teams, which they don't seem to be using. The Kirillide receives 1 shell. That's sort of no consequence at the beginning. You've got a little bit of a flank from 2 angles. Navi keeping their faster tanks up north, their slower tanks down south. It looks like they're going for a similar situation, a similar tactic like they used against Kazna Crew, by putting their 113s towards that kappa, then actually moving forwards into the defensive side.
Against NSS, we saw Hellraisers actually not bother to push Monty as far forward as he is now. They actually sat well back in towards the middle city until later on when Nesqui actually was controlling that 0 line. So an adaptation here from Hellraisers, definitely different from what we saw from NSS. And now push towards the north here, but straight away Navi are lit up. They're going to be pressing on towards this one, trying to get some sort of overmatch, but they've been spotted. Straight caught out in the open. That's a lot of damage going on towards him. He's trying to duck and dodge away from that one, but now the focus surely will shift onto one of his teammates. It's Inspire and Lefshar taking a hell of a beating from Niu and Nesqui. Look at the damage coming down from the side of Chardin, or a 1-shot, and Navi's gambit towards the north, not going to pay off.
Nesqui's actually going to be able to stay safe. He's going to be able to survive until his clip is done. Niu takes down Lefshar as well. Strike somehow managed to live through that one and is actually trying to get into a good position to reload and do some damage of his own, but still Hellraisers are so far ahead right now.
We've been very harsh on teams that have played attacking sides without inspiration, without innovation. This Navi attacking side is so cookie cutter, and Hellraisers just had an easy way to stop it. The setup was simple for them, and they've got that massive 5k hit point lead now as well. The Anatologist just sat out in the middle of the field, and he's got to be gunned down.
I love these APCR ammos, just penetrating the 130, no problem at all. Nesqui finds that final kill. You can see actually the bad chat's always using APCR because you don't have that first shot accuracy. You have all the problems with heat. Definitely a good call. Sly just doing quite a bit of damage of his own, but HE's being loaded, penetrating that Waffentrager, no problem at all, and he's also on reload.
Intuition probably a handy perk at times like this here for Hellraisers, but Oliver, we've got a game in our hands right now.
Boy, we got a game.
Oh man, Kirillide now just going to try and hang on in towards the middle of the map. Can probably finish that 215B. You can see he's trying to hit just below the cheek just as the armor slopes up, but it's not going to be good enough. And Hellraisers, that's a dominant win. Navi just seem to be a little bit clueless. We've seen this tactic on the attacking side for weeks and weeks and weeks and seasons, and it doesn't work. Not against a team like Hellraisers and Navi. How was average?
I mean, that's uninspired for Navi. That's a totally normal triple batchat push up the north. Hellraisers kind of failed with their focus fire, like they did on Mines, not being able to take down Strake in that batchat, but they got it done. The T-60 near you, which is a good adaptation for having that better turret, the more armor in the turret than the 140. Nesqui does a great job in the batchat, blocking off the target, making sure the rest of his team in that eastern side can shoot him, take him down, and that was the win there for Hellraisers, no problem at all. Good focus fire in the later stages, decent positioning, just pushing Navi back into those positions. And let's be honest, I mean, I thought Hellraisers would actually start to lose this match. I mean, we were like speculating in the beginning of the match, okay, the one weakness Hellraisers has is they're unpredictable, maybe a little bit too fiery, and that could actually cause them issues when they start losing those rounds. It doesn't seem to have done that, and they are starting to get a little bit more confidence.
It's really interesting how these two teams' map pools interact. No one of these maps so far has been split between the two. It was 2-0, then 2-2, then 2-4, and now 4-4. Interesting stuff, and Ruinberg defense is normally something you think a team should be taking away, but not this time. Navi definitely probably need a bit more energy from their fans. Again, now starting to feel on the backside of things after that map. That was just stunning stuff. I really do love a good Ruinberg attack. Not only does it brighten our day, make it more interesting back when we do the WGL EU, but it shows a team who really tries to metagame their opponents as well. And Navi's attack side was, yeah, bland, boring, seen it, done it all before.
Yeah, fantastic work from Hellraisers to bring it all even. We've had Ghost Town, we've had Himmelsdorf, we've had Mines, we've had Ruinberg, and now we've got Cliff, and it's all even. We might as well start from zero again. So it's just fantastic. This is the games you live for. This is the games the teams live for. This is the games the fans live for. It's just fantastic. We speculated that this could be the grand finals at that first match we saw the group stages. Indeed, we got it. And Cliff is just a fantastic map. So dynamic, so fast. Are the teams going to go into the middle? Are they going to go for those early engagements? Are we going to see Hellraisers with that 5-6 back chat stack we've seen them bring out before?
And this has been an improvement from Navi over their first match as well. They actually split Ruinberg last time they played Navi against it in this tournament. They have tightened screws and they've worked out the kinks here. And that's why we're seeing it 4 rounds apiece here. Cliff is going to be exciting, no doubt about it. We've seen some epic conclusions to games. What's that you hear, Ollie?
What is that sound?
I can't quite hear it. Is that cheering? Maybe.
Is that Navi or Hellraisers? Is that
I can't tell.
You guys
Maybe both.
cheering for?
Now, nonetheless, no matter who you cheer for, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air, put your cans in the air if you have them, and fire up for this game. It's 4 apiece, and we're going to go on a Cliff.
Unbelievable stuff. 4 apiece. The ledger is clean, and that bat chat stack is coming out. I'm 100% sure Navi is aware of that. They've gone for a bat chat stack of their own. It's just going to be who can play it better, who gets the timing, who gets the rotations right, who gets the focus fire, more importantly, right. And it's going to be a bloodbath.
Maybe I can practice my horse racing commentary on this one. But Levshar, already hooking around. You can see both teams have actually opted to take control of the same side of the map. The difference being is that Hellraisers actually know what Navi are doing. They want to go for a bit of a surround. Look, Nesquik spotted though. So Navi know already that's going to be the plan. And Inspire is going to be caught by a bit of damage. Near you and Nesquik coming forward as well. Navi a little bit concerned now as well. They realize their route of retreat is cut off.
Game over for Navi, surely. Look how much damage they're receiving right now from the Hellraisers. Perfect pinch from Hellraiser. Can Navi survive?
I don't know about that one. Nesquik takes on towards Kiriloid. Slide is quite low. Strake's just being ground down by Nuclear as waiting for the final shot, and he's going to have it, going to clean him up there as well, but this is coming quite close still. It's a 4v4. Navi have managed to steal themselves and fight back. The reloads for the back chats now, going to be a very interesting part of this one, and the RU251s, they take center stage. Nesquik has one more shot he can put in the direction of Levshar as well. He can tilt that little engagement in favor of Hellraisers with just the one shell. Monty wants to go hunting. Levshar takes a lot of damage at the bottom of the hill. New physics really is quite nasty, and Monty just wants to get the finish. He does. Only 2 left for Navi now as well. It's going to be rough as guts as Hellraisers look to surround and dispatch.
That was the most important kill. That was 100% the key kill here for Hellraisers to be able to get the advantage. If Levshar could just be a pain like Monty has in the RU251, it'll be disaster. Nuclear has that higher ground. He's played fantastically. The Anatolic, the shot caller for Navi, just wants to go forward to get a kill. Bounces that first shell.
Inspire now pressing forward as well. He sees his quarry inside, and we'll get the tract as well. That's going to guarantee the finish. There's nothing that can be done. Repair kit used to no avail now, and the Anatolic is trying to back off down the hill. 3 Hellraisers bat chats still stand. And it's just now a matter of playing with their food, cutting it up into manageable pieces before they gobble that one right up.
Oh, this is the 3 versus 2, but Hellraisers are ahead in terms of HP, tanks, and positioning. But I've seen so many situations where I've said, yeah, Navi can't win this. They just come out, they just kill tanks left, right, and centers. They just turn into gods, and they stamp you, fluff you out, no problems at all. You've got to be careful, and Hellraisers know it. We've seen it from NSS before against Navi in that Season 2 finals of the WGL UNCIS. Let's see if Hellraisers can just compose themselves.
Inspire now just trying to hold on, but he's lost the Anatolic as well. His teammate, he needed to work together with him to get the win here, and he's opted actually to go on reload. So now he's a non-factor for the time being, and he's been spotted near you. Wants to descend, but he himself doesn't have the shells ready to go. Inspire did see Nesquik, who has 3 in the chamber himself. He's going to be ready to let go, but just 1 man up against 3. We've seen a player like Applewell deal with these odds, but the context, the details were very, very different, and near you doesn't really want to see a repeat of that happen towards him. It may be karma, some would say, but definitely not a loose end that they want to trip them up. So Inspire running off, he'll have his reload, but he's being pursued heavily by 3 bat chats.
I mean, Hellraisers can just sit back there on the defensive side. They don't have to go forwards, but they know they got the advantage and they can 3-shot Inspire, no problem at all. He's kind of chasing them around the bush, a little bit of a merry-go-round, but eventually they are going to find him, no problem at all. But he's playing it correctly. You can see the way he's really good at this positioning.
Bottom lane, boys, that's the trick. That'll get it done. Near you finishes off Inspire, and Hellraisers put their nose out in front. Crazy how this game has shifted. We said Navi were down 0-2. They put their noses out in front, one after another. These 2 teams are one-upping, but eventually we're going to run out of maps to play. Navi are going to run out of rounds to lose, and they need to start fighting back here.
But we've just had 2 2s. On every single map we played so far, it's either been 2-0 for one team or 2-0 for the other team. 2-0 for Hellraisers on Ghost Town, 2-0 for Navi on Himmelsdorf, 2-0 for Navi on Mines, and then we've got one here for Hellraisers on Cliff. Is it going to be a 2-0 for Hellraisers on Cliff, or is Navi going to buck the trend with one of their own?
You said GG right at this moment, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, look at the damage. You got a perfect pincer situation here for Hellraisers. They just do sick focus fire. Monty also just playing around with the RU-251, probably has HE loaded. Strake's also getting pushed back, so he can't even support. He doesn't have the accuracy to be able to deal with Nuclear. Nuclear takes him down, but then boom, Navi comes back into it. Hellraisers are reloaded. You can just see Nesquik starts getting pumped down. But the fact is, Levshar in that crucial GF3 position gets killed, and that's game over. Like, he would have been the real pain, but he gets taken care of, and Navi didn't have that crossfire they normally do to support him.
Because we were going to see a 1v1 between two RU-251s, but then Nesquik on the bat chat arrived for Hellraisers. They just managed to, tip the odds in their favor in that little engagement. You said this is one of the most important engagements of the map. Let's see the damage count back now as well. It's definitely pretty close. Inspira having a decent game. A lot of Hellraisers players up in that top 5. Nuclear, near you, Applewell, Nesquik, all with very respectable totals. Bad chat. Well, it's one of 2 tanks that we use in this game, so fair enough.
It's funny how that is kind of translated from 754, where the T54 lightweight stacks. Yeah, that's an interesting little read. Little comparison you can make between the 2 game modes. But let's see if the other team is going to change things up. Of course, now Hellraisers on the attack. In my opinion, the slightly harder one on Cliff. By very marginal numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just 50-50 when it comes against these 2 teams.
Sure.
Will Hellraisers play a little bit more aggressively? Will Navi, for instance, keep their tanks back in that BC line and just try and see if they can have a kind of second line forced to shoot Hellraisers as they go aggressive through the middle, for instance?
That last round to me seemed like such a clear tactical read by Hellraisers. Now, it's not often that team spawning in the north will actually push that western line to such a degree, but they waited. They saw Navi push across. Navi like, oh, we've been spotted. Yeah, it's probably just an RU-251. No, it was 2 bat chats and I think an RU-251. And then the Hellraisers just closed up. They knew Navi were going to do that. Managed to completely out-mind game them here as well. And let's see if Navi has had enough respect for Hellraisers to prepare something for them. It's hard to fight from the top because teams are all looking to take you down. They'll all research. Navi sure as hell better have done their homework.
I think they have. But again, Cliff is not really a map where tactical depth has a massive amount of effect, because it just comes down to the brawls and the individual skill. And to be honest, Hellraisers is an all-star lineup. They've got the best players from GGWP, the best players from Hellraisers, and they've really done well with them. And to be honest, Navi doing exactly the same thing that Hellraisers did.
Yeah, albeit less committed here. They've only got the 2 tanks there. Probably weren't going to try and make a pincer, but the Hellraisers completely distracted by this are actually pushing to the north now and try and deal with this. They're worried that Navi are going to try and pincer them in the same way, but Navi pretty much was putting their forces from the 1 point. They're coming over the hill and they're not stopping for anything. You can see the Griffin's been caught. Applewell getting hammered down. So much damage near you as well. He's been lucky to avoid most of it so far, but you better believe it's going to come around when Navi do get him in their sights. Hellraisers getting crunched down. You see near you and Applewell trying to back away. Up in the back, it's Nesquik and Slide locked in their own dance of death. But Navi are cleaning house right now. The janitors are going to start to come out, and Nesquik will find himself jumped on by many, many oppositions. And
Nesquik doesn't have the reload, doesn't have the shell to actually kill Slide, and of course, that TVP has a better reload, 25 seconds compared to the Batchat.
Been turned around, though. Nuclear gets on towards Anatolich, and now Navi looking worse for wear. It's going to be Kirilloi pressing forward. He's got a couple targets to choose from, but he's locked on towards Nuclear. He's got a full clip ready to go. Nuclear clearly on reload. They're out of phase, and that's a big advantage here for Kirilloi. He's just going to bang shell after shell. He can get the finish as well, but he doesn't want to go down the hill. Or does he? Hard to say, as Monty now is going to be pressured on 2 boards by Rhino. It seemed like Hellraisers had a chance, but the remaining tanks split off, tried to take their own fights, and Navi looked to be shutting this down.
So the trend has been bucked. It's going to be 1 apiece on Cliff, and unbelievably so. I mean, Hellraisers did exactly the same thing against Navi and didn't even have a counter for it. Both teams just go charging up the 1 line, keep a couple of tanks there just to provide some support, and Hellraisers had no idea what to do. I was like head in my arms when I saw Hellraisers being indecisive. You saw tanks stopping, going left, going right. They didn't know where to go. Someone this way, someone went that way. If they just committed to a position, not gone up the north, maybe not put some tanks to the right side, not put 2 or 3 there, they would have had a good chance, but just didn't make a decision. And Navi managed to win it, managed to get the tank over matches. Okay, the HP was in favor of Hellraisers for some point, but still they had 2 or 3 more tanks to play around with.
So I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. We have a game on our hands here, and interestingly enough,
see, look at this. I mean, Nesquik and Lovu's up in the north. Rhino's providing a support. You know, of course, Navi have the higher ground advantage. NEU and Apwell try and do as much as they can. They play it pretty well.
Good job by Strike there.
You've got a 6 versus 3 situation. Nesquik has one more shell to make. He would need another 2 to kill Slides. Obviously, Slide has a better reload. And to be honest, Monty is in his normal position. He knows how to play it so well, but he's 250 damage, 320 if he loads HE. It's just not enough to give Hellraisers the tank advantage they need.
Cliff will be our tiebreaker map as well, so it's quite fitting that this is the one that these two teams split one apiece. And if we get there, Ollie, I'm not touch wood. If we get there,
Steps,
it's going to be
boys.
very, very hard to call. Yes, the next map's going to be Steps, man. Let's talk about it. Let's try and break this one down a little bit here. Have we really seen anything from either of these two teams that makes you lean in either of their favour?
I think I was pretty impressed how Hellraisers played it, but we also saw Navi and Wombats go on Steps, and I don't know. I think Wombats looked a little bit dangerous against Navi. Have to say, I wouldn't give a massive favor. Navi bought the Lorraine. Let's see if Kirilai can make it work better this time around.
Yeah.
Quickly the damage count back there, but yeah, you can see that the indecisiveness, right? Griffin, Lovu, Monty, the kind of tanks which didn't really make a decision getting the worst damage. But as I was saying, I don't know, is artillery going to be Pierce? You can see maybe after Cliff, the two teams will go for something a little bit more fast, or will they go back to perhaps the FEs or the 113s?
I don't know if Hellraisers were expecting Navi to be so aggressive in that last round as well. You saw them try to set up over on towards that.
It's ballsy to do exactly what the other team did to you.
Especially if you have set a precedent for not playing the same way. If you set the precedent as maybe being a more passive team. But we digress now. We're going to be jumping onto Steps here. This is our last map of regulation time. If this one is drawn one apiece, we are going to a tiebreaker, of course. It is best of 13. First to 7 in that case would be the winner. My God, what better stage to have an epic tiebreaker to finish things off here. Two of the best teams in the world, the two best teams in the world, have fought so far and so hard to get here, and neither is giving an inch.
Let's just take a breath. Let's take a step back. We've had 5 insane rounds from both teams, 10 apiece, 10 altogether. Who do you think right now is mentally in the game more? Hellraisers has had perhaps the harder tournament in terms of matches. Navi's had the easier ride, I think, especially in that quarterfinal stage. Who do you think is more rested in these later stages where perhaps the individual play is going to start lacking, the decisions are going to be slightly worse?
You know, outside of just trying to dodge the question, I'd say that the games up to this point probably are nowhere near as taxing as this one right now. So it's almost as if they didn't mean so much. You're on another level now when you play this grand final, the way you prepare your mindset and stuff like that. I think last round was a bit of fraying at the edges from Hellraisers. It looked like some things were starting to fall apart a little bit. They need to gaffer tape that back together, chuck in some WD-40, whatever makes it work, because Navi still seem to be striding forward with strength. They recognize when they make mistakes. They're happy to go and play Hellraiser style, even if it means stepping out of their comfort zone here, however big that is. And now Steps is going to be Navi on the attacking side, and Hellraisers are defending.
So Hellraisers have gone for that faster lineup with the 4 Batchats and the RU-251. 2 113s also pretty fast, one of the faster heavy tanks you can get in the game. And the exact opposite almost for Navi. They've gone for the 3 113s. The SDB are pretty slow. Chinese medium tank, and of course you've got Left Shah playing the MX 1390. Hellraisers though going aggressive at the beginning. Left Shah's got to be careful. They haven't even been spotted.
No, they've made so much progress already. I mean, because they're in that undulation, it's very, very hard for Navi to get a read on where they are. So this could be a little bit of a sneak attack or a strike at the heart of the beast, as it were. But these 3 Batchats are just going to be waiting up here as well. This could be huge. If Hellraisers push at the right time, they can catch these 113s completely off guard.
Strike is in the background, so is Slide, and Slide with the SDB, 7 seconds reload for 390 damage, 6.5, sorry. It's just so insane. Let's see what these 3 do. 3 Batchats versus 3 113s. One will just get cancelled out. That'll allow one of the Batchats to reload. But Hellraisers are playing it really well. Monty just probing, trying to force Navi, trying to make them think about different things, whilst those Batchats, those 3 tanks, just sit in the middle and bide their time.
You don't see a scarier trap than that one. Obviously, 3 Batchats. The amount of damage they can put out in a short space of time is quite disgusting.
6,000 between those 3.
Yeah, and that's not even counting those big old high rolls here. So this could blow up in Hellraiser's face, and they could be isolated from the rest of the team if they're caught. So this is definitely a risk. They're taking a chance on this one here, hoping that they can funnel Navi down into their position.
Spira. I mean, if Hellraiser's just pushing now, it's game over, basically, and Spira will fall. Strike is just nowhere to be found, and with that bad gun handling on the Batchat, it would just be impossible for him to do enough damage.
Can Hellraisers
And
get
he's
out of this
shot.
position with the bat chat safely? Or are they committed to this?
Oh, they can get out. The Batchat can get out of any situation safely. It's so fast, small, agile. He can just run away.
How much damage will they have to take on the backside? That's the question. Now, if Navi ignore this, Hellraisers will have a perfect south flank established, ready to jump on them as they try and take control of the north. But they're going to push up.
Hellraisers now going forwards. There's Batchat starting to move. Great spot there from Monty. Now Navi has two choices. Do they continue forwards?
No.
Or do they stop? Do they go back around? They looks like they're going for that first choice, just charging forward. Inspirer.
He has no idea what's about to hit him. It's three Batchats coming out of the shadows to jump on towards this one take. Inspirer is so shocked he misses the first shot, and the Batchat's now got to pop shell after shell in. That is an assassination in the purest sense of the word.
The cap up in the north, though, there's nothing there to really reset it apart from Monty. If Monty goes down, it's going to be disastrous for Hellraisers. Thank God they have those Batchats that can just charge through the middle, but it still might be too late.
And now Navi want to set up. They know that most of Hellraisers are set towards the south side of the map. They've begun the cap. They're dealing with Monty as well. He goes down. Beautiful long-range shot. That's a very important piece of the puzzle for Hellraisers. Taken off the map. And this cap does get reset. Beautiful shot coming in towards Kirilloid. It does take him a little bit lower. There was a 130 of Volvo off towards the side. He's pretty much saved the game for his team now. He'll take the damage as a result. But Nesqui also able to push up here. And Hellraisers aren't going to let this go without a fight.
Hellraisers have enough time now. Griffin's on the right. He can reset. And Navi knows it. They know they need to push off the cap. Otherwise, they've lost this game.
Oh, Griffin now as well wants to press forward. He'd love to get to grips, but he is just restraining himself for the moment as he is on his own. Does take a hit in his direction now, having just to back away, and the rest of Hellraisers are congregating in the middle of the map, maybe getting ready for another stab at the heart here. But Nesqui wants to take on Anatolich here as well. It's pretty much the 1v1. Levshar can't get involved in this one here. It is pretty much gloves off, slap in the face, and who's quicker on the draw? And it looks like Anatolich is on the reload. And both of these tanks now could just look at each other because they have no shells left.
Yeah, but you got Monty down. That's a big deal. If he wasn't down, it could have been game over. You can see how Navi's actually reset this fight, and it's going to be dangerous here for Hellraisers. They have to hang on.
And Navi losing health at a rate of knots though as well. You can see Slide pushing towards near you, off towards the side. It's segmented into tons of little different fights here. Slide now locked in a death's dance with near you. One more shot, a good one, is going to take him critically low here, but Nuclear has picked up Strake. Nesqui trying to back away, but Levshar is on the chase. He has the shots and just misses. Nesqui gets over the hill, but only just. Now Rhino on the north side finds Nuclear, picks him up. Applewell and Griffin would love to go and get involved this one, and they will. Again, a 2v2 happening, but shots are coming in from the side.
Look, Griffin actually went for the wrong side. I thought he'd just stay on the right. Apple has to get these shots. They have to be able to kill Rhino if they want to stay in this game.
He goes down. Griffin manages to pick him up, but he is very, very low. Still, Kirilloid must reload. Applewell's able to come forward, and that shot may have been meant for Griffin, but he catches it anyway. Kirilloid responds. Now the 4v3. Navi starting to take control of the situation, and Kirilloid will just bide his time, but Slide's going low elsewhere. You can see at the bottom, it's Nesqui as well. Still locked in that battle, still somehow alive with 96 hit points.
Unbelievable. This is insane. 3 versus 3. Hit points are basically the same. Hellraiser has a slight advantage, but near you goes down to Kirilloid. Unbelievable shot.
Navi look to take control now. Levshar finally finds Nesqui. He chased him for so long, and it's just Applewell left. He will be descended upon. It'll be Navi looking for him like vultures hungry for the evening meal. Kirilloid knows he has to reload and back away. Applewell would like a better position than this. He doesn't want to be surrounded and taken out in that kind of arena. Kirilloid is trying to keep tabs on him.
Just bad play right now from Hellraisers. Let's see if Applewell can do a miracle again. He's already in a 1 versus 3 situation on Ghost Town and managed to win it, but he's got the odds stacked in Navi's favor right now. Can he hang on? Can he get a couple of sneaky shots? That's a great penetration from Kiri.
Beautiful stuff from him. Just picked a little gap, and Applewell now realizes that he's getting to the point where he doesn't have the health to hold on, and he's ammo racked as well. That reload time has been increased drastically. How is he going to fight away all these targets now with that extra handicap?
I don't think he can. I think this is just done. I mean, that reloader going down is an insane disadvantage.
10.8 seconds.
Doubling your reload, and he's down to that 10 HP. Applewell falls. Navi incredibly managed to win that round despite having lost Inspiro for nothing. You can see how happy Slide is on the screen there. Your man on the right side, straight there as well. Super excited to win that one. How does Navi do it? How do they come back from impossible odds?
The blood is definitely up now, and Navi stands upon the precipice of once again lifting the trophy as the world champions. It's not over yet, of course, but that was a Spartan effort from them as well. Such a strange round. None of these rounds have been standard or regular. It's just been craziness from start to finish. These two teams have a packet of strategies saved just for one another, and now they're just slinging them back and forth across the stage. And Navi, despite winning that round, it is still one round in it. One round to take it to an overtime. One round for Navi to potentially win it all.
Monty just had to stay alive in that round. That was super important. He died for nothing. He didn't have to be in that situation. He could have run away. The rest of the team would have got the reset in time. Navi are in a bad position. Hellraisers just pushed in, taking care of those 113s. Nesquik on the side was a bad decision as well. We saw Lovo get killed for nothing in that 113, all the way sniping for some reason. You know, just bad concentration from Hellraisers. They had the advantage, they let it slip, and you can see Slide having an absolute beast around. I was about to say, you know, the SDB made all the difference. The Ukrainian player just showing up when it counts. He's the star man you have to look out for and you have to be scared of.
We heard the Navi chant ring out across the stadium earlier on as well. It's clear they have plenty of fans here. But no matter who you cheer for, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This could be our final map coming up. It all comes down to these last few moments.
See if Hellraisers can compose themselves. This is the difference between a world champion and not. I think what Hellraisers have to do now, they're on the attacking side. They have to say, okay, what's the most important thing for us? Are we going to, what kind of lineup are we going to use? Are we going to use, for instance, the 113s, maybe the IS4s, maybe bring out something new which we haven't seen before, maybe a cool little counter-rotate boost up onto one of the plateaus you have on steps. These are all of the kind of things that have to be racing through your mind if you're Hellraisers. And for Navi, they can say, okay, we got this one round to play, and then we're finally reclaiming our crown as the Grand Finals champions 2016.
And Hellraisers balance on a knife edge. In these situations, you ask yourself, do we go with what we planned? Is what we planned even going to work now that we've seen so many games? Or do we just go YOLO? Do we just completely change it up? I mean, at this point, it's just this one round, right? Hellraisers don't have that much left to lose after this one. Maybe they could just go for something completely crazy, clinch that tiebreaker, take Navi off by surprise, and they should have a little bit of confidence about the tiebreaker map of Cliff if it comes to that. But we're not quite there yet, of course. This Steps still has one more round to play, and Navi, multiple times we have seen them bleed, and Hellraisers have smelled up blood in the water. They've come back for more, but Navi somehow seem to reset themselves, re-establish themselves, and come back with something new here. But this is it. This is going to be potentially one of the most important maps of the series, definitely of the year. And this last round, you can see the teams are taking their time, and we get to look at your pretty faces, so we're not complaining. You guys have been amazing so far this weekend, and don't stop now.
Just incredible stuff, incredible scenes from these two teams. I mean, I almost just want to be part of the crowd and just sitting there and watching the games. It's just insane. I mean, we've watched these two teams progress. Navi, they're looking like the better team in the last few rounds. You know, it's always been Hellraisers to bring out something completely unusual. You can see even the guys who are normally so steely-faced, your Slides, your Strakes, your Rhinos, your Anatolich, the Kiriloid, the Inspirer, all of them have...
Strake seems irritated.
They have red cheeks that you've never seen. I would thought maybe the green or black cheeks, because obviously tank oil's coursing through their veins. But just insane stuff. I mean, this is the thing though. Hellraisers, they have to compose themselves. If they win this round, they are world champions.
And the tension is incredibly high.
I think they'll win. I think they'll win the tiebreaker.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what they can bring out here as well. You can see just focus now as well. Teams like, we've come this far. It's exhausting. It's a long series. You can see Monty there as well, just trying to massage his eyes there a little bit and prepare himself. And justifiably, teams are taking their time. I mean, the tension is real, even out here in the casting room. If you could see Ollie right now, he's literally standing on top of a chair, leaning over, watching the game, shaking like a leaf. That's how serious it's getting here, guys. Oh my God. I don't think we've ever seen you like this, bro. Should I get you a jungle gym, like a cat tree or something to scratch?
Mate, I'm in cloud 9 right now. This is just fantastic. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't care if I fall off this chair at some point in time and break my neck. I just want to see Navi and Hellraisers play this next round. It's just insane stuff from them too. Oh man. I mean, compared to the last year's Grand Finals, last matchup between Hellraisers and EO Gaming, this is like some next level stuff from these two teams. A little bit of a break between the two rounds, obviously. I mean, the most important round for both teams. Hellraisers just need to compose themselves and go 6-6, and Navi, they need to just get it done. I mean, okay, they're the team that's known to get it done. They don't go bad or think this is a pressured round or whatever, but still $150,000 on the line for Navi for first place if they do win this next round. 75K. going towards second place. So it's a big difference, a big deal.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The stage is set for what may be the last round. It's definitely the last round of regular time. Navi will be defending in the blue, and Hellraisers now just hanging on. They're balancing on the edge of defeat and a potential tiebreaker comeback. Let's see what they can do. We do have artillery for Kirilloid.
Risky play. I mean, at the end of the day, artillery doesn't matter to Lorraine 15551. It's a little bit random sometimes, and it's definitely hard to hit some of those shells against the faster lineup of Steps. But I mean, you got an E50M. That's something we never see on Steps at all. Interesting play. Both teams gambling at this point.
I've seen Griffin pick up that E50M a few times, actually.
Not on Steps.
No, in Steps, in some strange cases. So maybe Hellraiser's going for something a little bit different here as well. So far, though, nothing seems to be untoward about their approach. You can see they set themselves up towards the north side. They're leaving a bad chat back. 2-1-13s, Rhino and Anatolich are just peeking out of the valley. If anything, it's Navi with quite a forward positioning, at least initially here on the eastern side of the map.
Yeah, they've gone pretty aggressive at the start, but you can see both teams not YOLOing in. They're not doing something unusual. They're both wanting to slow this one down and just try and feel each other out, play the more standard Steps we're used to seeing, just probing, seeing where the other team is, playing that standard World of Tanks style where you're trying to get the information. And you got to remember, it's an information game. Yes, okay, with the Observer, we can see everything and where everyone is. They only see where they are and where their teammates are. So it's half the information. It's very scary to play.
Well, we do see some people on the move now at the moment. It is Hellraisers moving towards the north, and Ingi was going to be at the front of this column as he does scout ahead, and some may say this is actually very forward positioning for a 113 to go for. See, Kirilloid has gotten a bit of a spot on one of the tanks in the middle of the map. That one is going to miss just towards the back. It was Apo out spotted, but this is 3 tanks on the cap. Hellraisers, they're going to dispense with the pleasantries here and try and go for the win.
I think this is a good idea for Hellraisers. I mean, it's obviously very risky. Nice little blind shot there from Slide. Fantastic work from him in the Object 140. It's risky, though. Kirilloid is playing that artillery piece, but near you being so aggressive in that 130 might slow down Navi enough.
That's right. And Navi still don't know where Hellraisers are at this stage, and near you is trying to prevent any spotting coming out. He's a very durable tank, but here comes the blind shots in from Kirilloid. So much is riding on this man's shoulders right now. Until Navi can get a tank towards his cap to stop it, he is the star of the show. He has to hit the shots. I think we actually saw a reset. No, Hellraisers move off the cap. They think they might have isolated a fight in the middle of the map. It's a 3v2 for Navi, but the cavalry for Hellraisers is arriving.
I think Hellraiser could have won actually in the cap, but they decided to go for the overmatch. They want to take the fight to Navi.
Apoel out front there as well. Rhino taking a fair bit. It does artillery shot coming in, not connecting on anyone, but Lolvo actually taking a lot of damage along with Apoel. Navi are winning this one out in this smaller sense, but Hellraisers are still keeping up. They in fact have more health. Hellraisers are pressing forward now. Left Shark getting incredibly low off towards the side. Anatolich as well, caught around the back. He's going to be in an overmatch scenario. Inspire can't help.
Hellraisers have to just concentrate. They have to make sure they're actually hitting the shells. They're not bouncing anything stupid. They have to take down the Anatolich.
Hellraisers are inches away from bringing this one back. They have now a huge hit point advantage. Lolvo manages to get on towards the Anatolich. Hellraisers have all their tanks still standing. They went for the fight. They took the chance, and it seems like it may have just worked out.
I think the interesting thing here is that if Niyu goes down, there's still a chance here for Navi to pick up this round. A very slim one, but still one nonetheless. Niyu just playing it so perfectly. The Hellraiser captain just keeping his team cool, keeping his team in the fight, and playing so well individually.
Navi weren't able to focus their fire in that last fight at all. They just sprayed away and hoped to connect, and Hellraisers have so many guns in the game by comparison. 3 extra tanks. Straight pushing into this one. What are you doing? Shots coming in from behind as well, and Apoel just wants to get in his way. Nuclear does take it down, and Navi are definitely running out of gas here. It looks like we may be going to one more map here. We've got a bat chat and a 155-51, and that is all.
7 tanks still alive for Hellraisers. They got all their tanks still in this game. Near you with 1 shot, Nesqui with 1 shot, but the rest of them are still pretty healthy. Unbelievable play from Hellraisers. They are now charging down the rest of the tanks for Navi. Inspire, Kirilloid left to try and pick up the pieces.
Kirilloid has already been spotting. It's all he can do to just try and get away from this fight. He's on reload. He can't get involved, and Griffin knows that it's his job to take him out. But near you finds him. Inspire is just a 1 shot. Nuclear's going to take it down, and we have a tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited.
6 apiece from these 2 teams. It's been back and forth. We've had 1 apiece on Cliff. We've had 1 apiece on Steps, and they just want to take a breather. I would as well. My heart is absolutely dying. What a play there from Hellraisers. Absolute ball balls. I don't know how these men managed to stand up with those cojones, because they decided to go from what's basically a win for them in that cap to charge into the front of Navi. And despite being a little bit questionable in their focus fire, they got it done. They got it dusted.
Unbelievable scenes. We saw Cliff being split. This could be a very interesting map for this to finish on. Fortuitously, of course, it's going to be our tiebreaker map. And look at the looks of disappointment on the faces of these Navi players. They are not pleased that things have gotten this far. Consider Power Slide definitely not impressed. Strake as well, bit of a downturned face. But even before this round, he was not looking impressed at all. Now, headsets back on. These guys are going to pretty much jumping straight into it. But here's the fight the Hellraisers pushed off the cap to try and get involved in.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can see it. There's a bit of some shaky hands, I feel, because Rhino survives way too long considering it's 4 versus 1. And yeah, but perfect play from Hellraiser, good read. They just decide, okay, with 3 tanks in the middle, slow, we can push and we can take them down. Using the 113s down the hill, having that forward momentum to go into this fight. Nesqui, Nuclear really make the difference in the bat chat. And Strike just turns, almost impossible winning situation into a completely impossible winning situation when he suicides into 3 of Hellraiser's tanks a little bit later on.
And right at that point, everything still looked in the balance there as well. But if there's anything Hellraisers have shown, Ollie, that they're very good at doing is even in the midst of a battle, is locating, identifying, and getting involved in an overmatched scenario. Time and time again, we've seen them do this. Their focus fire is generally quite good. And here's the damage count back, of course. Hellraiser's just really laying it on thick.
And near you, he wasn't even any of the fights. He was over towards the other side. And this is the thing, we can only focus on one thing at a time, obviously. It doesn't make sense in this world to focus on 2 things. But near you, soloed a bat chat. He soloed a bat chat. He soloed, I think it was Inspira, maybe? I'm not sure. I think Spyro, Strake, not Strake, someone, I don't know, maybe Slide or Left Shot. It was Left Shot. Left Shot was in the bat chat. Normally a guy who plays the tier 8, got soloed. You can see only did 1.5k HP. But here we go. Navi had the faster attacking round there on the defensive side. Both teams, when we saw them play Cliff today, they both won their defensive rounds. So, I mean, if you can read into that in any way, shape or form, Navi looking in the better position.
As we come out on the other side of this match, we will have crowned ourselves a new world champion. It all doesn't just come down to this moment. It comes down to this one round, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. These 2 teams have only one more opportunity, and the smallest mistake could cost them everything. Navi look incredibly annoyed, rather salty. For Hellraisers, it seemed to be quite upbeat there. We did see Monty quickly get up out of his seat and was told to have just, relax, have a seat. But I definitely think momentum's on the Hellraisers side here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a fantastic round for them. And they maybe even should have won the first one. But this is the thing, Cliff is that gamble of a map. Everyone says it in the scene. Cliff, you roll a dice, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But at the end of the day, it's a gamble. So to be honest, both these teams are grand final champions in that respect.
Yes.
Because it's a bit of a 50-50 who wins this next round.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy to think that the title of world champions comes down to almost the flip of the coin between these 2 on this particular map. Navi were the first to hoist the World Championship trophy and title up in front of a crowd here in Poland. And, well, next up to the plate were Hellraisers last year, and incredible scenes there, of course. And here, who will it go to? Will Navi get to restore it to their trophy cabinet, a spot that they've been making ready for this trophy for many weeks and months? Or will Hellraisers pick it on up, put it back in their helicopter and take it on home? I mean, that's the question we're all asking right now. The teams, again, had to make their tank picks for this particular game, so they are just preparing.
Think about this. I mean, Hellraisers, currently ranked 6th in the world on the global ranking, came in as the RU and CIS wildcard versus Navi, first seed from the RU and CIS.
Who won both Season 1 and Season 2 of CIS.
Back-to-back champions in the WGL and CIS. Yeah. Came second, okay, to Hellraisers and WCA, but just been a fantastic team this year. And Hellraisers has been unpredictable, but at the end of the day, Hellraisers are defending grand final champions. They're looking good enough to actually pick up the second one in a row, and that would just be history in the making.
So all the notes you've taken over these last few days is watching these teams. I want you to pick them up in a pile. I want you to throw them over your shoulders, because none of that matters here. None of that matters. It's going to be Navi defending, if that is worth anything for you there, Ollie, as well. But Cliff, we've seen teams will not play for the objectives. Capping rarely, very, very rarely even a minor consideration. Obviously, there's two ways to win this game, and both these teams have decided, they've shown a proclivity to want to go for fights. The hand slaps are coming out. It's the final hurdle, the final boss, as it were. And these two teams are almost ready to jump in. One more time, make some noise for these two teams, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together and get excited.
6 apiece, back and forwards. It's been so far. Now, who has the steely resolve to pick up that trophy in a matter of minutes? Navi or Hellraisers, equal champions in their own respect, but there's only going to be one first place, only one champion.
Time to jump into it now as well. It's going to be Cliff, the final battlefield for these two guys. The stage is set and they're both going to be delivering. They come out with a full bat chat stack, Solly, a 2-5-1 for each team. They're going to brawl.
And my heart is just absolutely racing. I would hate to see what these two teams are. I feel like it's just going to be a battle of whose hands are shaking less. Interesting, though, that both teams are going for a bit of a middle brawl, but of course Navi have that RU251 and that bat chat on that 1-2 line, so Hellraisers can actually get the overmatch in that middle area if they do choose to go for it.
So Hellraisers are doing the same. They're splitting off a bat chat and RU251 over towards that other side. They've got to be careful, though, because there's a lot of Navi players there, but Hellraisers have the heal. First damage coming out. Inspire and Nuclear trading a little bit. We can see Nesquik getting hammered down, though. Already 1,000 taken off him. This could be pretty dicey as Hellraisers have the higher ground. They have the heal position. Slide now starting to get battered a little bit, and Navi may have overstepped a bit.
I don't know. I think this is back and forwards. I mean, both teams get some initial damage. Monty, Nesquik in a good position, but there's actually an overmatch potential, and Nuclear goes down first.
Niyu's going to push forward. He just wants to get into the fight. That may have been an overextension there, as Monty's going to fall. Lloyd is off to the side, getting the shots in. Rhino up to the front as well, taking Niyu low, but Niyu picks him up in response. Now Lloyd being boxed in by multiple tanks, but he still gets Niyu, despite being shunted back and forth by the enemy. Hellraisers have a slight lead, but it's a 4v4.
But Apple has such a fantastic position up on that lighthouse. He's going to be an absolute beast, and he's also going to get the chance to reload again in that bat chat.
It's going to be huge for him. He's got a bit of safety for the moment. He got the damage out as well, and now Strake is going hunting. He's looking to try and pick up this guy as well. Griffin will be his target. He's fully loaded. He's ready to go, and Griffin knows better to hang around than when Strake is loaded and wants to get into the fight as well. Behind each building, he's keeping this man busy, and Strake leaves himself vulnerable to side shots, but he just turns around and sends Nesquik packing. No one stops this man when he gets started.
Brilliant stuff from Strake. Nesquik should have hit that shot. That was a crucial shot to hit. That gives Navi a slight advantage, and it's a 4 versus 3. Can Hellraisers recover?
Strake, no! He's been given the shot there! We saw Lovo actually just slid down and just presents himself to him, and Hellraisers have got 2 tanks left, but it's all falling apart at the seams now. They've got Griffin off towards the sides. They have that health point advantage, but they're losing players that they need for the later stages. Applewell, though, takes down Slide. He's going to try and even this one up.
Oh, Griffin actually should have hit that shot against the Anatolic, but there's 2 tanks, or well, 1 tank, Anatolic actually a 1-shot, Inspirer and Strake 2 and 3 shots respectively, and almost 2 full HP tanks from the Hellraisers. They are in a good position to win this. I feel like the position from Applewell could make the difference, but still Griffin makes up for it in a bad position on that lower ground.
Strake 2 shells. 1 is let go. He does connect on towards Griffin. The second one does as well. Going to make it that much harder for Hellraisers to hold on here, as Navi have the numbers, but Strake now has to go on reload. The Anatolic only has 2 shells left. And where the heck is Applewell? That's probably the question that Griffin's asking right now as the enemy is creeping ever close. The Anatolic now starting to speak up a bit, starting to yell. He knows he can't peek Griffin, though. He's a 1-shot.
I don't know. This is so close. HP is still slightly advantage for Hellraisers. They can take 1 shot, but there's an extra gun in the game for Navi. It's all about the play. Has Applewell chosen correctly? Can he take down the Anatolic?
The Anatolic is not spotted yet as well. He can get a cheeky little shot. No! He bounces off the front of Griffin. Griffin has a second lease of life here. He can line up the Anatolic as well, and you'd be crazy to try and go at him right now. Applewell is loaded. He's ready to get into this fight. Griffin has bought valuable seconds, and he's going to be able to get involved, but Griffin has to still hold on against this pressure. Oh no! Applewell from the background. He found Anatolic. Now Griffin, he was at risk of going so low here, but now Navi are running out of options.
Griffin just has to hold on. He has to play patiently. He has to let Applewell do the job he's so good at doing. Navi, can they hold on? A shot comes out for an Applewell. He has to make sure he hits the next one. Can Griffin? The thing is, Griffin actually might be able to take down Socket, might be able to take down the 1 versus 1. It's just back and forth.
And Applewell now has 2 shells left to go. He wants to use them. He misses that first one there as well. Just 1 left. It may not get the kill. No! Strike avoids getting killed in that case. Now Applewell's taking some damage back. Griffin is pressing on towards Strike. He gets the first shot, takes 1 in response, but gets the finish, and now it's a 2v1. Inspirer just trying to hold on, but he knows Applewell's up on the heel. Griffin now is going to try and get involved. Inspirer only has 3 shells left. It's not going to be enough to take both of these tanks down and be done with it. So he's going to hill. He's going to look for Applewell. He's going to ascend to the top and try and make something of the situation, but he's been lit. Applewell sees him. She'll be able to line up a shot, but he backs away. He buys time. And that's Inspira come forward now as well. But Inspira doesn't want to let time be bought. He needs to press forward. Applewell slides down the hill there as well. He avoids the shot. The angle not there for Inspira. And Inspira may just be stuck in that spot. He needs to jiggle and get out of it there as well. And in the meantime, of course, Griffin will be descending.
But Applewell's actually stuck. I don't think Applewell can get out of this position. He's really screwed up for his team. But Griffin has to find the shot. This is terrible for an Applewell. He's actually given the game maybe to Hellraisers, to Navi. Can he hold on? But Inspira just almost puts himself to a one shot.
No, the shot from Griffin, that's huge. Inspira now down to a one shot. Applewell may be a little bit stuck, and Inspira has to pick this one very, very carefully. He knows it's he and Griffin. It's one shot between them. Whoever is quicker on the draw is going to win out in that one. And Inspira just needs to step back, try and get some space and bide his time. He has precious seconds to work with. He has 3 shells to let go, and they need to be used wisely. And Applewell is stuck. He can't move.
No, he can't move. I told you, he can't move. This is physics for you. He's simply screwed up. He's in that position. I mean, this should have been the game for Hellraisers, but now Navi has an opportunity. Navi on the defense, they only has to run away. Inspira could just find a bush, he can sit in it, and that could be the end of the game.
Griffin has to go and find him. He doesn't have Applewell to help him out at all, and Inspira has just left. He realizes what may have just gone on, and you can see the look on Griffin's face. He's like, hey, Yuri? No response. Silence descends over the arena. It seems like Applewell's managed to rejig his position somewhat as well, but pushing down on towards that rock may have been in his undoing here as well. He's just got himself wedged up in that corner, and he has to look on in dismay as the rest of his teammates, where his last remaining teammate tries to hold on against Inspira, who's just got himself set up in a situation where he can receive any push coming towards him.
I think Applewell's actually moving, to be honest. I think he might eventually be able to get out of that one, but will it be enough time? I mean, Inspira, one shot, Griffin, a one shot. Inspira has the higher ground, though. I mean, it's all about Applewell. I mean, Griffin, Inspira is a 50-50. Whoever managed to get the better position, managed to aim first, maybe a little bit of luck in terms of that first shot ability of the back chat.
The thing is that Hellraisers are on the attacking side here, so even if Griffin were to fall, Applewell had to try and get things back. I mean, he can't just sit and stay safe. Hellraisers have to finish the round. They have to find Inspira. He's the one who has to avoid being getting killed, and you can just see him playing it safe, trying to make all the right decisions now as well as he heads up towards the top side of the hill. And he knows this is the best place to try and get any early read on the enemy's position and just stay alive.
Unbelievable. That one decision, just falling down on that rock, just poor stuff, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, it seems like the gods are in favor of Navi every single time they're in this position. Applewell actually push himself out of that position. I mean, Griffin actually has to go and push Applewell out of that position. I'm not sure if that's possible. Cap has gone underway. Griffin's got a bush there. He left it to the last second, and it's going to be about Griffin. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I can't even speak right now. Inspira has to go for it. He has to go for Griffin. Griffin could be in a good position. Let's see what happens.
Hellraisers just need to keep their cool right now. Griffin has one chance and one only to get this reset. Inspira has to try to find a location where he can spot Griffin without being seen himself. That's the tough part, because Griffin has himself set up behind a bush. Inspira has to get up relatively close to actually even see him in the first place. And Inspira just checking every little corner. He doesn't know if Applewell's got himself free yet as well. Bear in mind, he doesn't know if Applewell's still stuck or not.
He has absolutely no idea, but he can guess that he is, otherwise he would have probably been dead by now. Applewell and Griffin were just linked up, found a good angle, get a good crossfire like Hellraisers are so good at doing, but this is good. Inspira knows that there's a bush, there's a tree you can push down, so he's just going to use a new physics, boost himself up here. He's going to get a great angle.
Inspira going to peek around as well. Griffin needs to steel himself for this first shot. I think his head is looking in the right direction. And Inspira looking at the cap, trying to see if he can find where Griffin may be sitting, make an educated guess, in fact, because Griffin will be sitting behind one of the bushes. He knows that. Which bush? That's the real question. He peeks around. No light bulb yet. Can't tell. He gets the spot. The shot comes in. I don't believe it. Inspira gets it done. And now the 1v1. Inspira and Applewell, who's stuck on the side of a cliff.
Stuck on cliff. This is just bittersweet for Hellraisers right now. Is this just bitter? I don't know why I'm saying sweet. I have to feel so sorry. You can see it on his face, the look of disappointment, the look of dismay. Hellraisers, they're in the precipice. They were ahead 2 versus 1.
And then they managed to throw it to the new physics, the physics which allowed Hellraisers to win so many rounds. Inspirer might as well just have a scenic tour. He can have an ice cream, he can have a coffee, he can do whatever he wants. He could walk back to his hotel right now because he's got the game in his hands.
Unbelievable scenes. Inspire now could just take his time, obviously as the defending team, and just try and stay alive. Again, still not sure if Applewell's stuck, but of course you can probably make the educated guess. And even if Apple gets himself loose at this point, he can't even find Inspire. There's a whole map to scour. There's everything to discover. Griffin somehow either got spotted, got the spot second, or just wasn't turning his head quick enough. I don't understand.
That's game over.
Time is up. Navi